Mother, man.
Hey, this is Fred Carrasco, and I got Murder Metal Mayhem on the siege at Huntsville Studios.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem!
Hell yeah, man. Old Fred Carrasco.
Fred Carrasco.
Doing a little promo for us, taking some time out.
We are kind of sitting here in the studio tonight at gunpoint, so there's that.
Not a whole lot we could do about it.
Right, exactly.
So it is Tuesday, guys, and we're throwing down a new Murder Metal Mayhem here at Horns High Studios for the Horns High Podcast Network, episode 183. So definitely, digging on the fact that we just keep churning them out. And I just noticed I had the wrong episode number at the top, but the correct one in the notes. So 183. Chris, Joey, I got you guys in here. Everybody doing all right?
Oh, yeah.
Doing good, man.
Fuck yeah. Weather's been pretty decent.
Hell yeah. Work's going like work.
Yeah, like work. Got 4th of July coming up, so that's cool.
Extra 3-day weekend.
Long weekend, so definitely digging on that.
Not for me, but I get time and a half in holidays.
Oh,
so
there you go.
I'm okay
dude.
with that.
There you go. All right, well, what shirts we got on tonight, Chris? What do you got going on over there?
The old fucking sexual atrocities, fucking Charlie Sheen shirt.
Fuck yeah.
Let's get high and fuck shit up.
Very good. Joey, what about you, man?
I got the Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder shirt. I had to wear that today since that's the medals.
Hell yeah. Very cool. And I got
yours is also necessary.
Necessary, yes.
It is. I got mine from the fucking Huntsville Prison, old Sparky shirt that Tex sent me.
Yep.
So appreciate Tex. You getting me some duds, and I'm going to be sporting this tonight.
Fuck yeah.
Since we're talking about we're not talking about old Sparky, but that's where old Sparky was doing his thing. Yeah. So it should be a good one tonight. Now, last week, guys, we did another Australian case, old David and Catherine Burney.
Goddamn dude.
Fucked
How
up.
did they get together?
Right?
Like her undying love was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, at 14 years old, they just found each other and just fucking did some horrible shit.
Put the P in the V and started killing.
That's right. 1986, though, they did their murdering. And it was just horrible. So one of the worst in the country's history. So not a huge body count with 4, but some really devious, horrible shit. And, harmless victims had no fucking, just awful like we were talking about. They were college kids, women that had a future that were doing stuff. And
they just randomly grab them like, fuck them.
Yeah,
literally.
So, and our friend Mick, the Australian police officer, he sent us an email, guys. That was really cool of him to say we did a good job with that. So thanks, Mick. And he was a federal police officer, former. And
I did 011001.
That's right.
We're going with OVNI.
Yeah, you did that crazy ass feature, Chris. That was great. That binary code fucking band name. That's crazy. But that was cool. Something I didn't know a damn thing about.
Hell yeah.
So, Killer Cage match was fun. We had 3 Mayhem stories. And tonight, guys, we got 3 Mayhem stories.
Yes,
we do.
So, and Chris, what's the theme of the Mayhem stories
We're all 3 going to talk about a certain time in life that we just got our asses kicked. Like literally.
All 3 of us individually.
In different times.
Stories
different times.
of us getting our asses kicked.
Yeah.
So that should be a good one tonight. I had not planned on it. You guys came to the table with this, and I'm like, you know what? I got a pretty good story about getting my ass whipped.
We're hanging out at the Nation last night and just talking about shit that happened, and we're like, man, I'm gonna tell that one. Chris was like, I'm gonna tell.
That's
cool.
like,
fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's usually how the good ones come out. So that should be fun tonight. But last week we had 3 of them as well. So karaoke, all the crazy stuff. You missed episode 182. go on and give it a listen. We're passing 800 to that one today. So thanks to everybody that did listen. And if you didn't, go back and do it.
And apparently people are fucking checking out some of the older episodes.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
for
cool.
sure.
If you're
Very
somebody
cool.
that's newer, that's checking
Going
out all
back
the old
to
shit.
the old ones. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's really cool. Now, tonight we're doing another prison story, guys. We love doing the prison stories. And Chris, we got one guy we always call when we're going to do a good prison tale.
Every time, fucking Tex himself, the
Hell
man.
yeah.
Fuck
Tex
dude.
coming in to talk to us via the internet.
We should get like a light up red phone, like the commissioner. of
Oh,
Batman.
that'd be great.
Like
That'd
the
be great.
text phone.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Let's bring up Tex.
We might have to get a cardboard cutout.
That would be awesome.
Buddy's obscured, so we would have
It
to
would just
blur
be
the
black.
face. Black. Yeah. That'd be funny that the cutout place would call me and be like, what the hell did you send me?
just like
It's
a
all
silhouette.
blurry, or it's got a box over his
Over his
eyes.
eyes or
Like,
whatever.
just
yeah.
fucking do it.
Just do it, man.
Just do it. It's fucking Tex. Of course, he'd have to have a cowboy hat on.
Oh, yeah.
Go have to. So we got Tex on tonight talking about one he picked, guys. 11-day brutal standoff at the Huntsville prison called the Huntsville Prison Siege in 1974. 2 inmates and 2 hostages died in this one. And the taco, that thing they made to get out of
Yeah.
there is just too rich. I mean, just
Yeah.
too rich. I can't wait to talk
Complete
about it.
fail.
Total.
It's gonna be.
yeah.
You guys will hear about it.
Yeah, you will. You will. So there's a taco involved in this, and we'll leave it at that. So this should be fun. So Tex is warming up in the bullpen. Joey, you got the horns tonight. What's your plan, brother?
I do, as I was saying earlier with my shirt. I'm doing Texas Illinois band Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder, and that's our buddy Gummo Wallbacon, as our listeners may have seen him on the thing. 'Cause
Hell yeah.
he's a faithful listener of ours.
He is.
But so it was pretty cool. Before I left, I got to sit down with him. He came up and we did an interview, so you guys will get part of that tonight, and then the whole thing will go live also.
Yeah, very cool. Well, that's the day after this goes live, the full interview will go live, so that'll be awesome. And Chris, you got a Lost Classic for us
I
tonight?
got one. Yeah, I do.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah.
So we'll do that in Mayhem. I'm sorry, in Metal.
Yeah, just do it in Mayhem.
Yeah,
instead.
just
Fuck it.
scramble 'em
We'll
up.
We'll tell fight
Next April
stories,
Fools, let's do the segments out of order, man.
right? Yeah.
That would be fun. Do the outro first, you know. Do it backwards. Yeah, that would be funny. All right, Killer Cage match tonight, guys. That's when we have our listeners provide us some random numbers on our Facebook page so we know who's going to fight in a steel cage to the death.
Right on. So
Chris?
we got Dan Lance. We got Justin, who the numbers are 419, 419 represent for Punky.
Yeah, that was awesome. He put for Punky.
I know.
Justin
So cool.
Morris.
And back again with a new name, fucking Ray Long Donger McFalls.
Wow. Long donger. He's not even being like sexual innuendo here. It's just straight
He's
up
like, I got
long
big
dong.
dick.
So, wow, Ray McFall's back again. So, thanks to you guys, all 3 guys tonight. That's been a while.
I'm just breaking character and just got to laugh real fast because I typed that. I put that message on the thing.
Oh,
When he commented on the fucking Killer Cage match numbers, all I put was Ray Long Donger McFalls.
I knew it was one of
but
you.
it popped up as Merlot Mayhem, of course.
Right.
But as soon as I put, because it was like early and I was all, just high off the stove and shit.
Right.
I was like, man, maybe that wasn't so fucking appropriate, and I didn't fucking even look to see about it, but then I see it in the notes whenever Pete did. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Because Pete was being nice about it. Like, he wasn't just straight up saying, something as perverted as long dong.
No, I was kind of running out of ideas, so I appreciated the input there, for sure. So tonight, though, we got a good one. Boy, this is one of the more violent Killer Cage matches we've ever had. I think we've got some good fucking, matchup tonight going at it. Joey, who do we have fighting tonight?
Oh, man.
Man, we got fucking some sick motherfuckers tonight. We got fucking Night Stalker Richard Ramirez.
Ooh.
and he's going to go up against fucking Toolbox Killer Roy Pliers Bittaker.
Oh, man.
So only one of the Toolbox Killers.
Right.
So
But
we're keeping it an even fight right
the
here.
nastier of the two,
nastier
for
of the
sure.
Pliers, yeah.
So,
I might
yeah.
have to bust our
And they're
pliers
both
out.
fucking deviant as fuck.
Yeah.
Right. So
I
this
got some
should be a good
pliers
one.
that I could fucking wrench Ramirez's face with.
That's right. So they're going to have a couple of objects and a variable to make it interesting. We always know that could change things
Oh,
dramatically
God. We've seen that.
in the cage. So we'll do that in Mayhem tonight. That'll be fun.
The fucking one with Michael last week.
Yeah.
With the sugar babe. You
Oh,
know?
yeah, what did he say about that?
All he texted me was like, "Oh, that's fucking gross, bro."
Yeah, that's always fun getting Michael involved in that shit. All right, we got a new mask coming. I'm really excited about this. Sick Rick has just gone off the fucking rails with this one.
I feel like I say it with every one he does, but
I
this
know,
is like
but
the
this
best
is
one.
best
so
one, yeah.
amazing. What is it, Joey? What's it? What's the new
Jim
one?
Jones.
Jim Jones.
Yeah.
looks
Shades.
The
so
fucking
fucking tight,
reverend
dude.
himself.
He's got the fucking glasses just
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
The skin tone went with the natural
Yep.
skin tone, although he did do a zombie
That
one.
one was bad.
That looked fucking
yeah.
wicked, but I really like the
Yeah.
natural skin tone. We've got a variety of them. That'll be our 9th Sick Rick mask, and Sick Rick is going to be a sponsor on the
Fuck yeah, he
podcast.
is.
Chris, we got a new bit we're going to start doing here soon.
Yes, we do.
And that'll be
All
fun.
for Sick Rick masks.
Yeah, so it's going to
Check
be
his shit out
fun.
for real.
We'll rotate the masks around. We're going to put one on the table and talk about it. Maybe even get the input of the mask. Which should be interesting when we hit the black metal Venom Dominus mask.
Yeah.
That should be interesting. And we've got all these serial killers and all this crazy shit here in the studio with us. So that'll be fun. Also wanted to say thank you. I've had a number of people. Mick was one. Shane, and then your buddy up in Canada.
Oh, Michael Bain.
Yeah, Michael Bain. We had several listeners comment about the Dugout Dick episode, which is really cool. Now, Mick mentioned, I've got the email, I haven't looked it up yet.
Say that, yeah.
He mentioned a guy that it reminded him
I
of.
did see
Spoons,
it. I can't.
right?
Yeah,
or
so I don't know if that's an Australian case or not. I'm going to check it out. But great suggestion from Mick. But we got a lot of people, Chris, that just really liked
Like,
that episode. And
well, like-
we thought it was just kind of a palate cleanse,
Right, yeah, because after all the fucking women shit, but
Yeah.
but other brother, all y'all seem to like it. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that was good. I love the change up of how, like, it doesn't have to always be fucking murder and violence and shit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of that in there,
right,
but,
but
very
still,
little.
like,
It was mostly
it's
kind
lighthearted, dude.
lighthearted.
This motherfucker,
dude that
90
just
what
said,
years old,
"Fuck
hitchhikes
everybody."
all the way back.
Right?
Like, dude.
So I'm going to check out the Spoons character that Mick suggested. So yeah, thanks. If you missed that Dugout Dick episode, it was a bonus. It's been a few weeks ago now. We were just passing 1,000 to that one, so that has been a fairly popular episode. So that's really cool. Thank you to everybody out there listening to Murder Metal Mayhem. We keep seeing those numbers. Last week, guys, we were just at about 3,200, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody. Got new people coming to the table. Like Joey pointed out, obviously listen to the old ones. If the new episode just passed 800, that's 2,400 episodes
have
of
been
other
listened-
ones
yeah,
that
right.
people are listening to.
Fucking A.
So thanks. Well, guys, we got a lot on our plate tonight.
It's probably the Richard Kraft fucking brutal rewind over and over.
No, actually, that episode is firmly at 3.
Yeah.
But the Columbine one is closing
still
in
going.
on
Goddamn.
number.
Number
It's
one.
still a ways off, but I see like every week like 30, 40, 50 listens just to that Columbine episode. So that's really cool.
And I also
yeah.
hope that means that people that heard that episode like how we did that episode.
Yeah.
'Cause that's that's an important case.
And we just had the school shooting, unfortunately, and I
Exactly,
think
yeah.
that's one of the reasons why people are really tuning
right,
into that.
it brings the attention up.
It really does. So
Did you
kind
see I
of the
found a
iconic
fucking,
one.
hardback copy of Reasonable Doubt for Joey, dude.
Yeah, what was that place? You mentioned a
CNC Music Factory.
What is? I saw
Nice.
that and I'm like,
Me and
what the
Courtney
fuck
found-
is that?
Chris and Courtney.
Okay.
They found it for me, so I just.
I was gonna text you like, where is that place? I need to go check it out. Now I know it's Chris and Courtney's place.
No, I think they found it was free, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was free where my mom works
Oh,
at.
cool.
They had it there. It was like,
Awesome.
fuck, I'm gonna grab that. I got a salt.
That's the original one too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want that."
That's very cool. Yeah, I didn't know what that was though. No.
Yeah, I know.
That's hilarious.
Like I said, probably nobody knew what the hell I was talking
I
about.
did as soon as
but you're
because
right, yeah.
obviously, but yeah.
All right, guys, we are going to take a trip south where it's warmer, down to the great state of Texas, talk to our boy Tex. Hopefully, though, we don't get caught up in a prison siege.
Hell,
So-
we're in one in the studio. We need to fucking get our murder on.
Y'all.
Violent punishment for violent actions. The cycle never stops, the chain reaction. We can only bring this to an end when we learn the difference between justice and revenge.
Fuck yeah, man. Some gruesome. The song Inhumane. Those guys are killer. Little bit of a death, like just a tribute to death. Very inspired by death.
Right?
They don't pull any punches. That's like their shtick, you know,
Yep.
but they're amazing. Former members of Exhumed, Possess, Malevolent Creation. I mean, just like an all-star band.
Hell yeah.
Amazing fucking players. Just really, really dig those guys. So just jam that shit. All right, well, we got our buddy Tex on here with us tonight.
Yeah,
Guys,
what's up,
we're all
Tex?
fired up. How's it going, Tex?
Oh, it's going pretty well, man. Just trying to get back in the swing of, what I do after being in the woods for a few weeks.
Yeah, how are you doing with that post manhunt?
We all kind of breathed a sigh of relief, man, after this dude was caught and dealt with, that's for sure.
Right.
The really big regret I have and what's going to stick with me forever is the 5 innocent lives that were lost.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
sure, dude, but like I
TDCJ
said-
failed.
Yeah. I can understand though where you guys are coming from with that. Definitely very unfortunate, but in no way, you guys caught his ass, and that's the important thing. He didn't get any more. Think of how
Right.
many more
Yeah.
people could have been killed by this guy if you guys didn't put a stop to it. So
Very true, very true.
now tonight we're going to be doing the case of the Huntsville Prison Siege of 1974. At the Texas State Penitentiary in Huntsville, Texas. The Walls Unit, as it's known, these huge fucking walls that surround it, reminds me of like these old school ones we've done, like Sing Sing and some of those.
Yeah.
We enjoy doing these prison stories, and this should definitely be a good one. It's one of the longest standing hostage-taking sieges in U.S. history. And the man at the center of it all is this murderer who was doing life, Fred Carrasco. And we're going to get into his story and how it all went down.
And the reason that he did it.
Yeah, plenty of murder, plenty of mayhem here tonight. And Tex, you're the one. So thank you for bringing this one up. But what made you want to suggest it to us?
Hey, you mentioned the murder, you mentioned the mayhem. There's also metal in this story, too. Those big-ass heavy helmets that they had.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
my
I didn't even
God,
think of that. True metalheads, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how this situation hasn't been turned into a movie, to be honest with you.
I'm surprised too.
yeah, I'm
like
surprised
more
it's not.
people because I didn't know about it.
No, me neither.
So this
Yeah.
is one I didn't know anything about, which I love that. I love finding out about something did not know about. So we were just talking about this earlier with the Dugout Dick episode. We had a listener from Australia, a 666 Club member, contact us and said he loved that episode. Kind of cool to hear us do something different.
Yeah.
So he really liked it. And then he suggested one, this dude named Spoons. So we're going to check that out. But, we're always up for doing something different. And these, prison stories are just really awesome. And love to have you on because you, of course, work in the corrections field. you're in Texas, and you're, obviously a very, very good resource to ask questions when we're doing an episode like this one.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I did most of my research at the prison museum on this one. So anybody in Texas, you ever out Huntsville way, go to the Texas Prison Museum.
Fucking A, dude.
Yeah, and I
would love
appreciate
to
you
see
got
it.
me that shirt, Chris. Tex. I got it on
Right.
tonight. The old Sparky shirt. So
Oh, right on, man.
fuck yeah. So that's a cool museum. I was checking out some pictures of it online, which is really cool. Now, Chris, our prison episodes, some of the most popular, like the Black Dolphin,
Right,
which is in the top 5 episodes most listened to by our fans. So what do you think it is about the prison stories, man?
Fucking same reason, like people watch like the Locked Up Abroad and shit. They want to see what life is like. They're like, what the fuck is this really
Right.
happening? And then when you hear about how inmates fucking straight like took it over for days, they're like, wait, how the fuck did this even happen?
Right, because we've done some brutal ones, man. I mean, for sure. The New Mexico, Attica. I mean, we've done some Black Dolphin. We've done some pretty brutal stuff. And this one is, a bunch of killing and just craziness. Joey, we've covered the escapes, which are cool. Like your suggestion, we did the
Texas.
Texas
7,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah, they're they're interesting. I mean, like I said, we got a handful of them under our belt now.
Right.
It's a good subject, and there's always usually, murder and always some mayhem involved.
Right.
And
a guy behind the scenes,
almost
like that
always a
mastermind.
mastermind, a criminal fucking genius almost.
Yeah.
And this time, it's not so much that Fred Carrasco was one of the smartest motherfuckers.
Right.
This dude was just
Ballsy,
so
man.
goddamn connected,
Right.
and so fucking, his attitude was so fucking like narcissistic,
Right.
and he didn't fucking have zero respect for the authority that was holding him.
Right.
He thought himself larger than that. So
Yeah.
it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, for sure. Now, like I said, I wasn't familiar with this one until Tex brought it up. I know, our listeners like these kind of stories. I know we all do. And, they're going to hear this from, as we always talk about, we don't just watch one documentary or go on Wikipedia and just regurgitate a bunch of shit anybody could find. We're doing a lot more than that. We got Tex on here, of course, on the ground basically there. But, we're telling it murder, metal, mayhem style. So that, I think, adds our own little touch to this. So, and, like Mick said, he says, you could listen to these other podcasts and they're talking about the folie à deux and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes you just want to hear somebody say, that's fucked.
Yeah.
And I love what he said that, because I'm like, that's true. I mean, we're sitting here talking about some pretty fucking grisly ass shit.
Right, yeah.
And every now and then you're just like, God damn, what the fuck?
What the fuck am I doing right
like,
now?
holy shit, like what? So you don't get that on the more sanitized shows. You're getting the real deal here with us and the folie à deux, Chris, because we bring it up all the time. man.
Right.
When we can. When
Thinking
we
about
can.
the same
Sounding
thing.
smart here. So we're going to get into this one with old Frederico. We calling him Fred. That's how we went. Gomez Carrasco, born in San Antonio, Texas, 1940. He's of Mexican descent. He's known as a drug kingpin. So South Texas. Some said he was the biggest and deadliest drug lord in the Texas-Mexico border area at the time. Now, we all know how fucking brutal that world is.
yeah.
To say this dude was the deadliest one of them all,
That's a tall feat right there,
that's
man.
saying some shit there. So, holy shit. He was known as El Señor and also El Viejo.
The old man.
The old man. He's only
And he's
34.
only 34, yeah.
But he's calling the shots like he is the old man. Dealt in cocaine and heroin, so the hard stuff, and went to places all over the United States. The Mexican police actually believe he was responsible for up to 50. I saw some reports that 40, but 40, 50, I mean, Jesus Christ, that's a
Yeah.
lot of fucking people. Now, Tex, this was one bad motherfucker. I saw that he never smiled. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did, man. He was arrested in 72 in Guadalajara with 213 pounds of heroin.
God damn.
Yeah, about $100 million.
Yeah. At that
He escaped
time,
after. Yeah, he escaped after bribing the Mexican authorities, dude.
wow. Big surprise there, right?
Like, I'm out.
Yeah,
Isn't that just the cost of doing business in Mexico, it seems? You know, bribing
Like, hey,
the
dude,
authorities.
I got a lot of money. I'll give you a bunch. Just let me get the fuck out of here, dude.
Right.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
like-
Tex, what is that about Mexico with the police corruption? I mean, why is that, do you think?
well, they pretty much always had an unstable government down there. Various with all the cartels and all the money they generate. You know, everybody's got somebody in their back pocket.
Right.
And Carrasco was probably the biggest heroin kingpin in Mexico, the Rio Grande Valley. So, you know, he had it made, or so it seemed anyway.
That's true. That's true. So, yeah, so he ends up getting arrested again in San Antonio in July of 73. So he escapes, pays off the fucking authorities, gets arrested again, this time in San Antonio, July of 73, gets in a shootout with police. This motherfucker is shot 4 times but survives. And after the shootout, he gets arrested for attempting to kill a police officer, and they wind up putting him away for life. They were so afraid of him escaping there in Bexar County in San Antonio that they sent him to the Huntsville prison right away so he wouldn't fucking escape.
Dude,
Speaking of Bexar County, Chris, was listening to a podcast about this. They said Bexar County, and I'm like, you know what? I made that mistake, but I admitted it. But I put in the notes Bear,
right.
so I don't say
I may have
Bexar.
heard that same one.
Yeah, it's like nails on a chalkboard now that I listen to it.
It's funny. There's
So I apologize, Texans that are listening.
when I lived down in Texas, or whenever I lived outside Dallas, there's a town there, and it's called Salina, and it's spelled Celina.
Yeah.
My mom's name is spelled the exact same way, but she goes by Selena.
Oh.
So
Yep.
whenever I went down there, every time they would sound like, no, it's Selena.
That's funny.
But down there, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, like here in Illinois, we have a San Jose, but they call it San Joe's.
Yeah.
And it's like, no,
What?
that's San Jose. What the fuck are you talking about?
The town fucking outside of here called Leroy. It was Leroy my whole fucking life growing up in this area. When I moved back, all of a sudden they changed the name to a big R, and they're like, oh no, it's Leroy.
Oh, Jesus
And
Christ.
I'm like, it's Leroy. No, it's
Fucking
Leroy.
No, it's
Oh,
Leroy.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, that's just funny. So Carrasco ends up arrested. He ends up now in Bexar County. They're sending him away. They want him the fuck out of there. But Chris, he doesn't take long to make a little bit of a move here.
Dude, I think it's fucked up though. He got like the prison time as a plea deal to get his wife to not go to fucking prison.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they did everything together, and he's just like, nah, fuck that. She ain't doing nothing. I will take whatever plea you want. She just gets to go away, and they fucking did it. You know, you got to have money for that because
That's true.
Anybody of us did that. Like, oh, I'll take all of it. You let her go.
Right. Yeah.
They're gonna be like, no, fuck you. We're getting both of you. Fuck that.
Right.
Like, but yeah, he's totally fucking did that. But started smuggling guns and fucking ammo into that place somehow. I don't even remember how that happened.
in a canned ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
How the fuck is that even happening?
He was
man?
getting it through one of the trustees because he fucking threatened him.
Yeah, like I will fucking kill you.
So you're gonna do this, and fucking sure enough. But I don't know. It's the same thing. We had some other dude we were talking about at one point that was getting shit snuck in through like ham or something. It's like, man, how the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Because that's like only part of this. Like that inmate getting it to you, like that's part of this.
Right.
Where's the other part where it's coming from the outside of the prison in?
getting into the actual
Right,
prison. And, you know, I mean, that's just, you know, one of those things we see with these stories all the time is like, how does this happen? And
How many things you smuggled in for inmates, Tex?
I know
Zero.
none. Tex is a smart guy.
I know. I'm
Of
fucking
course,
around.
of course. Now, Tex, what are the differences with prisons in Texas now as compared to, 1974 when this is going on? Because obviously it still happens, but I don't know about guns
Yeah.
and ammo, though. But what do you think? What do you got to say on it?
Well, see, back in the day, like inmate houseboys, around the walls unit, there's a bunch of houses.
Okay.
And they're all like wardens and directors and stuff like that. And they'd have inmate houseboys that
Word.
they were trustees, but they would come out, do whatever, like butler or clean house or do whatever.
Lawn maintenance and
out
shit.
there. And they would, Walls unit is like right there in downtown Huntsville. So they'd go out for the day, get breakfast for the family, go down to the donut shop or whatever, and come back. So they had pretty free access.
Wow.
So I have a feeling that's how the guns and stuff got into the hams and
I
the
see.
ammo, all that stuff too. But now we don't really do that anymore.
We don't really do that no more.
No more houseboys. huh?
No more houseboys. So yeah, I mean, we have outside trustees, but we have bosses or officers go out and check on them, and
Yeah, and everybody's
that
going through a
nowadays.
metal detector, right? I mean,
yeah, awesome.
yeah. So I mean, that it always blows my mind when we read these stories. But then, like Joey or Chris was saying, when you got money like that, you can make shit happen. And obviously, this guy did. So I had a
Right.
lot of powerful
yeah.
friends.
A
So
lot of outside connections.
big time. Now, Huntsville is where the executions are done, right, Tex?
Yes, that's where they're actually done. The inmates are housed at other prisons though until the night before they come in and.
Right.
Is that how long it
do
is
their-
the night
do their
before?
Dude,
Actually, it's the day before, and they get to make phone calls and
Right.
just
that's
prepare
crazy, though.
themselves for.
you're
Right.
leaving your
Yeah.
basically you're leaving your home to go somewhere else to know you're put to death. That's weird.
Yeah, that is
because that's
fucked up.
basically their
Yeah.
that's their house.
Right.
And I got to leave
Exactly.
here to know. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very fascinating. Now, Carrasco and 2 other convicts take 11 prison workers and 4 other inmates hostage in the prison library on July 24th of 1974.
July 24th, 74, I'm starting to figure out why this story wasn't bigger than what it was.
What's that?
Because a couple months later in the same state, Texas, there was this fucking terrible Texas Chainsaw Massacre that happened.
Oh
shit.
yeah,
that was
about
the same
that,
year,
dude.
74 was it.
That's hilarious. That
Also
damn
fucking-
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Also, fucking Nixon was going through his shit at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times
Yeah.
it is something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 1974. And, we're talking about the Texas State Penitentiary, as we talked about the Walls Unit. The first prison in Texas, it opened its doors and cells in 1849.
God damn.
Yeah, pictures are very imposing. Takes up, as Tex said, the downtown area of Huntsville's right there.
That's crazy. The prison's just right in the middle of the fucking city.
Yeah.
Oh, really, Pontiac?
Pontiac,
Oh yeah,
though.
yeah. Pontiac. No,
Yeah,
it's
we're-
more on the edge.
Okay,
dude.
but still, it's
There's
it's
a
on the
town
southern
by
edge.
us, Tex, called Pontiac, and there's a big,
Maximum,
scary
like
looking
Supermax
maximum joint
fucking.
right on the edge of town.
Yeah.
But you drive by it and you're looking at that like, fuck that. Like,
Right.
It's dangerous. Definitely a
Yeah,
dangerous
look up
place.
Pontiac prison like sometime and check out pictures of it, dude. It's fucking.
Yeah, it's
you
like
look
an
at that
old
shit
school,
We'll
like a
talk about
Huntsville.
that one. We'll do a prison
That
one
would
on
be a
that.
good
I
one
will.
to do.
Yeah.
That would be a good
There
one
was
to do.
definitely some shit that went down there.
So yeah, very imposing looking place, 55 acres. It's like that classic old prison like we talked about, Sing Sing, Attica. Joey, what do you think, about prisons like this? People imagine that they're like impossible to escape from. But remember when we did that one at Sing Sing?
Yeah.
Wasn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean,
A bunch of escapes,
yeah, there's been tons everywhere you go, and some of it's chalked up to, some of the joints are a little bit older or whatnot. So obviously you're going to get fucking leaks in some of the seams, where people are going to figure out how to slip through. But a lot of prison escapes, especially the ones that we talk about, are a lot more fucking straightforward, like take over and get the fuck out, not a sneak out situation. Alcatraz was.
Right.
But most of the time there's some kind of fucking event that they create to try to make their way. But the thing with fucking prisons that you got to think about too, you can't even blame it on all the prisons being old or whatnot, because you have these people that are in there, and these people aren't fucking stupid.
Right.
They may not be smart in every way, but what a lot of them are smart is in the way of criminality.
Streets, right.
And street, right. And if you fucking stick something in a fucking container, it's going to fucking figure out a way to get out. And the smarter it is, the better its chances are going to be.
And they got nothing to do but figure this shit out.
And another easy thing in the joint is you can fucking, if you're one of those guys, like we said, there's usually a mastermind behind these, that you're smart enough and you got enough charisma, you can talk some of these other fools that are in there with you to somehow aid and abet you,
Which Fred
or also
did.
get out.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, very good at like getting people to do what he wanted. Probably some intimidation because of who he was.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, you're not going to say no to this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Not unless you've got a way to get the fuck out of there before him. So, definitely an interesting topic about how do they get out. Now, Tex, do you want to weigh in on that subject with these older prisons and how, these older prisons are fortified to meet up with modern technology?
Yeah, man. Our newest prison in Texas, out of a whole 100, the newest one was built in either 95 or 96, 1995 or 1996, and the oldest, which is the Huntsville unit, the walls. And like you said, it was actually built in 1847 and took the first inmates in 1849.
Wow.
Right.
There's a lot of blind spots in some of these older prisons. So, there's easy ways to get out. And like Joey said, with time, that's all they have.
Right.
They can just look at something and come up with a plan, coerce and manipulate other people to help them and stuff like that.
Right.
But a lot of the newer style prisons and the larger prisons here in Texas now, we have video surveillance cameras.
Right.
I'm not going to say there's no blind spots,
But very
Very
minimal.
few.
greatly reduced.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Huntsville here, the Walls unit, when it comes to prisons in Texas, would this be a place that inmates would be afraid to go to, or is it kind of middle of the road, or what's the word on the street?
I think it's kind of a show place, right? So they're not going to put like a hardened criminal or anything like that there, unless they're fixing to get out of prison.
Okay.
Because it's also a releasing unit.
Oh, okay.
It's in the media eye a lot, Huntsville is.
Yeah, I mean, with the executions and it's the first prison. It's kind of was the headquarters for a while. So,
Right.
yeah, it's kind of a high-profile type of place.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I just was curious because, like we were talking about Pontiac up here, that's a scary place.
Right.
And I know from talking to my dad in the New York prisons, like Sing Sing, some of these places are just like you don't want to fucking be there.
That makes sense, though, if it's fucking looked upon also as a historical element.
and it's in a town.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? It's like right there.
Yeah.
That's the other part of this too.
Now, when somebody gets executed there, when old Sparky was going down doing that, like, did the lights go out downtown fucking Huntsville?
Yeah, did old Sparky flicker the lights, Tex, like they see in the movies?
There's a little, I took that picture of old Sparky when I went to the museum and sent it to you. There's a little plaque off to the side. I don't know if I sent you that, but yeah, they did say there was brownouts and lights flickering and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, they sure did.
Be watching a game or something like, motherfucker, they're
killing
frying
somebody
else up there at the prison. God damn. So 1 o'clock on July 24th, 1974, this thing kicks off. Carrasco goes up to the library on the third floor of the education building and forces several prisoners out at gunpoint. He fires at two guards who are approaching him on the ramp. The two accomplices joined Carrasco in the library, and they were Ignacio Cuevas and Rodolfo Dominguez.
Let me tell you what, man. Fucking libraries. This guy uses for his siege. Columbine, they go to the library. Fucking Ted Bundy goes to the library to fucking jump out the window.
Right.
Libraries are a dangerous place.
Fucking place, right? You need Punky fucking hanging out. Or Old Creole, maybe. I don't know. So, yeah, we're getting ready to fire that up again, too.
Hell yeah.
Tech, so that should be fun.
Hell yeah.
The prison warden and the director of the Texas Department of Corrections begin to negotiate with Carrasco right from the beginning. From past episodes, we know this type of thing is, what these guys train for. They do this all the time to be able to diffuse this situation as quickly as they can. Now, Chris, what really confused me about this is I saw that they called the Texas Rangers. And I'm confused because it's the middle of the fucking season. And I'm thinking the Texas Rangers are kind of busy in July.
They're probably out there balling,
What the
dude.
fuck?
Like they're trying to make home runs and shit.
I always love that.
Usually usually the Ranger season is over by July.
Yeah,
damn.
There you go. But I mean, I always hear the Texas Rangers now. Tex, I don't have this in the notes, but how revered are the Texas Rangers? I mean, is that more of a prestige type thing? And when do
Not
they
the
typically
baseball
call
team,
them in?
everyone.
They're pretty. Yeah, they're actually pretty legendary here in Texas. They're actually part of the Department of Public Safety,
Right.
which is like our state troopers. Once you get that, you can go up and be a ranger.
Interesting. Yeah, I always wondered what the deal was with them and why you'd called them in certain situations. But when you're talking about a hostage situation, Tex, what's going on behind the scenes with dealing with the media? And you got to have somebody obviously talking to the inmate. What's all going on there?
As with anything that happens in TDC and probably any prison system, let's face it, nobody really cares or even thinks about what goes on in prison or behind the fence until the unthinkable happens.
Right.
Then it does get very embarrassing for everybody involved, not just the suits, but for everybody in the agency. And there's a hostage negotiators class that some folks go to. I haven't been to it yet. I kind of want to. But I mean, until that happens, until a situation happens, you don't really use it.
Right.
I mean, there's no like annual refresher or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have plans, we have procedures and drills, but most of the time, like in the Army, a plan never survives past first contact.
Right.
So, from there, it's kind of fall back on your experiences.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a teaching moment, like we talked about Tex when we did the Texas 7 case.
Yeah.
And I think you were saying
no doubt.
that's part of the training because you learn from that mistake, things that were done that were, obviously not according to the way it should have been,
Yeah, it's kind of like an after actions review. They call it a serious incident review, but yeah, it's kind of what did you learn and,
Right.
and whose head's going to roll, stuff like that.
Right.
Just curious, Tex. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but on your recent manhunt and shit, did they have a negotiator involved in that with the guy? Or did it not get to that point?
No, I didn't get to that.
Okay, I was just curious because then you
I'm
could.
sure there was some out there, but
Yeah,
I mean, it just got to the
the end game.
firefight
Right,
stage. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, Joey, I see that Carrasco made some interesting requests while he was being, in this hostage siege. He's got some important things he wants done here.
He was talking to a negotiator.
Right.
And he was tired of fucking living that prison life. When he was out in the streets, he was known for being fucking flashy and everything. So
Right.
he tells them he wants some expensive tailored suits. He wants some dress shoes and cologne and walkie-talkies and helmets. And one thing he really wanted was some fucking toothpaste because he did not like that bullshit they were giving him in fucking prison.
That eye bag
Yeah. So they did. They fucking seceded all that stuff and got it to him. They also provided him with steak dinners and stuff, which were cooked at a restaurant there in Huntsville.
Right.
So
some expensive place.
So they were, at that time they were fucking doing what they could to fucking keep him at bay.
Right.
Those fucking, even though it seems fucking extravagant and fucking almost comical that you would ask for shit like that when you're in that situation.
Right.
And not ask for a way out first.
Right. That was at least stuff that they could be like, well, while we're figuring out what's going on,
Right.
and any way we can try to
give
keep
them
those
this
people
shit,
safer, then we'll give them this shit. Yeah.
Right. We'll send somebody to Sears to get him. No, he's going to some fucking high dollar shit.
He's wearing alligator boots. Fuck that.
That's right. So the media is, going crazy, but I did see that he treated the hostages very well, which is good. At least he wasn't like abusive to them. But these people were terrorized. The book 11 Days in Hell. I mean, that's
how did he treat
pretty
them good if
harrowing.
you're being terrorized? That made no sense to me.
Yeah, well, I guess he fed them like that. Everybody
Right.
else, and he was decent to them, as
I
decent.
see the
as,
one
as
dude
you
in the
could be
closet,
in
and
that
they thought they
situation.
shot him and shit.
Right.
Like, holy fuck.
Now, some of the civilians who were in the library were teachers, and most of them are middle-aged women. So, I mean, just absolutely terrified. I mean, anybody would be in that situation.
That's what kind of makes it sad, like what happens later on in this, because of the fact that he was like, I'm not going to hurt anyone. You get that fucking confidence maybe while you're in that situation, like you believe him, that this man's not going to hurt me. He's doing this because he's trying to do his thing.
Trying to get out of here.
But
He's just using me as a pawn, basically.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Now, of course, the media is going nuts, and I'm sure the prison officials that are dealing with that, obviously that's what they do. And they're going to try to spin the story to make their case look better. Anybody would.
Man, I'm sure that they had some people in that
understandable.
fucking town, like, whenever there was a high-profile fucking execution, like, you'd get media and all that.
Right.
I bet this was fucking... It blanketed that shit with the way the people fucking came
I
into
would
the town.
think. Plus, people are afraid these guys are going to get out of there.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, like Tex said, the unthinkable happens, I have to deal with the media sometimes in my day job, dealing with environmental regulatory type stuff, and they get in trouble maybe with the EPA or whatever.
Right.
And I've had to deal with the media. It is very difficult because sometimes, even if they're well intentioned, they get the details wrong.
Yeah.
Or the whole "if it bleeds, it leads" concept.
Right.
They're going to give the
Take
meat
the worst
because they
shit.
know that that's what sells the newspapers
Right.
or the news broadcast or what have you. So that's the problem. But, these people dealing with them, even in 1974, I'm sure were capable, and had to deal with a very hostile
Media
public
presence.
and media wanting
Yeah.
to know what the fuck is going on. And Tex, I mean, what is that like? I know we've talked about this with executions where you got all the protesters outside. I mean, what is that like being at a prison when that's all going on?
Just speaking from the escape hunt that I was just on, our public information officer did I think it was nightly briefs, and when I saw the news media out there, I just kind of did stage left and took
Right,
off.
just bounce.
I don't want to deal with that kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, in the case of like Carrasco, man, they got a lot of small things and even big things absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
Like for instance, they reported all of the inmate hostages were part of the hostage takers.
Oh, wow.
Right.
They reported some of the
they were working together
some of the
and shit.
hostages were inmates when they weren't.
Right.
All sorts of miscommunication.
Interesting.
I did see that. Yeah, they were getting there was a Robbins and a Roberts or some shit. Not necessarily
Yes.
those names, but getting them confused and whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody, obviously making mistakes, but on the center stage, it looks that much worse.
And back in the day, this is
Yeah.
before fucking social media and
True,
internet, so
true.
they were having to fucking
Yes.
watch them with fucking, pen and paper and
Right.
binoculars.
That's a good point. That's a good
Yeah.
point. Now, Chris, I saw
funny.
Oh, go ahead, Tex.
It's funny, Joey, you said social media because I had my phone out there on the escape.
Yeah.
And on the TDCJ website, or not the website, but the Facebook page.
Oh boy.
People were all, he's already gone to Mexico. And
Yeah.
why are y'all still out there looking for him?
Right.
A lot of misinformation going on out there.
Hell yeah.
Social media could help, but
It also
in that
can
case,
hurt you.
It hindered a lot of.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Who the hell wants
Yeah,
to deal with that in the middle of a manhunt?
Right.
Now, Chris, I saw the governor of Texas actually approved an armored getaway car.
Yeah, and he wants to go to Cuba, which, dude, Mexico's right there. But he already
Right.
he already had issues in Mexico previously, anyway. So like, I get it, I guess. But you're already in Texas.
Right.
Mexico's right there. It's quick. You're out of the country.
Yeah, but he had a
Fucking-
purpose of going to Cuba, though, which is kind of crazy.
He wanted to talk to Castro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he thought Castro would be like, have his back. Like, oh, yeah, we do the same shit. We're good, homie.
Right.
So, yeah, they fucking get this. He talks him into getting after 11 days of fucking goddamn.
I'm not going to say that he fucking wouldn't have helped it if he got
I'm
to
not
it.
going to say he
knows,
wouldn't
man?
have either. He
I
might
just
have.
wondered how you get in an armored car to Cuba, though. I mean, can you fly a
That's
fucking
what I'm saying.
armored
You're
car?
gonna have to get a fucking boat. Fucking
Something, yeah.
Smoking some cigars.
I guess.
yeah. The way they fucking their plan to get, which is coming up. Their plan to get set to said armored car.
Yes, this is
like,
when it's
holy
kind of almost
shit.
comical here, like the Keystone Cops on the reverse side, on the criminal side. Now, Joey, this whole situation seems like it wasn't planned out. I mean, I know you talked about Carrasco is maybe not the smartest guy, not the best planner, because this was like by the seat of our pants, going in like gangbusters to the library, and a lot of things could go wrong.
When he goes in there, this is just me talking. Obviously I wasn't fucking there or know the dude or whatever, but to me it seems like Carrasco, he's not a fucking right. He's not going to plan the fucking getaway. He's not going to plan the breakout. He's not a mastermind for that kind of shit. He might be a mastermind for setting up fucking hits or fucking drug deals or something. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he was doing that he was good at in the world, it wasn't escaping from prisons. Like,
True.
You know what I'm saying? Bundy might be one of the closest people that had a fucking kind of grasp on escaping from places because he did it a couple times.
did.
But this
But
guy,
a lot of that is ballsiness
it
too.
is.
You know?
Now with Carrasco, this is like I said, I go back to his whole attitude and shit. I feel like when he got busted, he fucking turned himself in easily enough to protect his wife and shit.
Right.
I feel like from the fucking second that he was fucking apprehended, he was like, I'm not going to stay in prison. I'm going to get out of that motherfucker. Yeah. And it was never a question in his mind. He always knew that he was just going to get the fuck out. Right. And that's why I don't think planning had anything to do with it. He was going to use his fucking connections. And then also that goes back to like, he gets the armored truck and gets to the coast. How's he going to get to Cuba? Right. I feel like he just didn't care. He's like, no, I know a motherfucker that'll come fly to get. Yeah, he'll make it happen.
Yeah,
so
the hubris, the confidence.
Yeah, his attitude, I think, was just a lot more what fucking dictated how that went down.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point. So this standoff is going on for 11 fucking days. I mean, you want to talk about brutal. I mean, you are not sleeping.
No.
You got this fucking maniac fucking bitching about the fucking suits and the toothpaste and everything else.
If he was getting guns,
hoping you're not
sure
going to die any second.
And I saw that like even. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm sure if he had guns, he probably had plenty of cocaine and shit, or some kind of speed to fucking be staying
He's
up
fucking
there,
tweaking,
too.
yeah.
Probably. I can't even imagine it. Now, there was one of the female hostages that communicated through her daughter to the media on the outside. I saw some video of that. She was pleading for her life, of course. Tough to listen to it. I can't imagine, loved ones, family members outside with a hostage situation like this. I mean, just absolutely terrible.
That was like that. Yeah, that made me think about shit, in a different way, because I'm sitting there listening to the daughter, and she was like, "Look, if you'll just let this fucking guy go, all these people are going to be fucking safe."
Right.
And that's how you're thinking. Mm-hmm. And then it's hard to think about, well, if you let this guy go, and then he goes out and kills 5 other people,
right?
Maybe that one sacrifice was maybe worth it a little more than the other 5. I don't know. That's a tough fucking situation.
Yeah, who's making that decision?
Right.
Dude,
like Tex said, that kind of stuff haunts people,
I just heard, but they had the prison chaplain, like going back and forth.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
because
yeah.
he had worked for him once he got there, so they had a good repertoire. He's like, no, bring him in here handcuffed and everything, and they
Right.
brought him in, and he decided to stay and be a goddamn hostage himself.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah, that was Carrasco's current job, was the chaplain's assistant.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Now
Yeah.
that you say that, yeah. So at 10 o'clock on August 3rd, 1974, the inmates make their move with the hostages. The way they did this, very interesting. They had some, challenges with the library being on the 3rd floor.
and they had all those windows blacked off on that floor, right?
I think so. They
Yeah,
didn't want
they're-
a,
yeah,
they
They're all
didn't want a
blocked off,
Bundy
right?
situation.
Yeah, there's
right?
Bundy situation.
But they had these ramps going up to the library as you'd go down the floor, so it made, and they wound around, so like it was hard for them to maneuver what they were trying to do. And they had 2 of the female volunteers decided to go with the inmates in the armored car, which is definitely very brave. I mean, I can't imagine, being in that situation, and being the one to step up and say, I'll go with you.
I don't know if this is true, if you heard this text, but didn't they, like, the females get together and decide basically, like, they based on the ages of their children. Like, the ones that had the
wow.
older children were like, I can do this. Your kids are young as shit.
Oh,
like,
shit. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they sure did.
Wow, that's heavy.
Yep.
But yeah, it was like, my kids are adults now. I'll fucking go. I got to see my children grow up. You
Yeah,
can
that's,
fucking.
That's harsh, man. Now, Tex, what is the deal with the Trojan taco? This is just fucking like something out of a fucking comedy almost. I mean, if it wasn't so awful that people died, but what is the Trojan taco?
Well, you've heard of the Trojan horse.
Yes, sir.
That's correct.
This is the story of the Trojan taco. They didn't trust the prison officials to make them some type of armored little shelter to take them down the ramps and stuff out to the
Oh, we
armored
didn't even
cars.
talk
So-
about the helmets, did we?
Right.
No.
we're getting
No.
ready here.
Oh, yeah.
Because yeah, see, they wanted some bulletproof helmets. So TDCJ was like, okay, here's your helmets. They were like plastic and shit.
Right, they
So
actually shot it.
Carrasco takes one of the pistols and shot it, and it shattered all over the place. So they got on the phone with the people, and they negotiated, and they gave out these specific instructions of how these helmets were supposed to be made.
Oh, wow.
So TDC was like, bet, cool. Okay, so they make these helmets, and they show them to them. And what it was, these helmets were 30 damn pounds.
Damn, dude. Like, for real.
And they covered all the way like down to the bottom of the shoulder blades, all the way up over the shoulder blades,
It's like,
the whole head. And there was in the front there was like a 1x8 slit so they could see through.
it's like
my
the
God.
fucking goddamn
So-
old school fucking diving helmets.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like you see it in
The
an
diving
aquarium.
bell.
Right, yeah, but yeah, diving bell, exactly. But like, you actually got to support the weight of this shit.
Yeah. God damn.
So they didn't trust them, right? So they were looking around, and they were in the law library, and law books are really thick.
Right.
So they grabbed a couple of rolling chalkboards, a bunch of cardboard, a shit ton of law books, and smashed it all together, and they made the awesome Trojan taco.
There you
Right.
go.
This thing weighed 735 pounds.
That's what I was gonna say. It was like
was
700 and
6
some
feet.
pounds, right?
Wow.
Yeah, 6 feet long, 6 feet tall, and 3 feet wide. And then after that, what they did was when they were getting ready to use the stupid thing, they got all 3 of the inmates in there.
Right.
2 of the hostages, handcuffed them all together, and then there was like I think 4 hostages on the outside,
Yeah, all chained
just to
together.
protect them, all chained together.
Right.
So yeah, they used what they had on hand. Man.
DIY in it.
DIY as fuck.
Wow.
DIY.
Damn, that's just one of the more creative ones that I think we've ever talked about. The Trojan taco. But like you said, made do with what they had, but these clunky ass fucking metal helmets, everybody all chained up. I mean, what a fucking disaster.
You can like if you watch the documentaries or even just look at, you can see pictures of the taco.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah,
Like,
it really is.
There's parts of it at the prison museum.
oh, okay.
Is there parts? Because I
pretty damn
know
cool.
that fucking that the warden is like, no, burn that fucking thing.
Yeah.
And in the long run was like, man, we should have kept that because it would have been good for the entire thing. Would have been a good thing for the museum.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
for
I know
sure.
they burnt the whole thing, like gone.
Yeah, they burnt it. There's parts of it there though.
Now, Chris, I definitely wouldn't want to be one of the ones chained up on the outside, but it worked out that that was the better place to be.
That was the better place to be because motherfucking like the cops or the whatever the prison guards or whatever, they brought the fire trucks in with the 3 big ass fire hoses, which you know they don't fuck around. So they just fucking start fucking spraying them down as they're coming around this last corner of the fucking ramp.
Right.
It takes them out, and then all hell fucking breaks loose after that, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
Joey, what happens then, man? You got the water, high pressure hoses doesn't work like they planned.
yeah.
It's just they watch the plan just fucking collapse around them, literally, and they're out there in this fucking contraption. And Carrasco, he knows that this is the end of the line. Like, he's done. His
Right.
plan's failed. He's not getting out of it. So what he does is him and the other inmate inside of the taco. They had
Inside of it.
they had the 2 females with them that
Right.
were supposed to get in the armored car with them as their hostages.
Right.
And they turned the guns on them, shot and killed both of them.
That's fucked up.
And then turned the guns on themselves. Carrasco killed himself.
Right.
I thought, didn't the chaplain get shot too?
Chaplain did get shot. Yeah.
He didn't die, but he did get
he did
shot.
not.
Okay, all right, because one of the other inmates was shot
Right.
and killed, but then the third one survived. We're going
Yeah.
to talk about him. But what a just.
But
a
that's why I was
fucking
saying it was so sad
mess.
about it, because he was like telling them that, you're going to get through this. It's going to be okay. This ain't about you. I just need to use you for this situation. And then at the very end, whenever he could have just fucking shot himself, he fucking
Right. Why
executed
shoot that
both of
woman?
them.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up. Now, this to me reminds me of like a reality show. Like you're in this room and you got to make do with what you got, and they're going to be spraying you with hoses on the outside, and you got to try to stay dry. You know what I mean?
It's like American
It sounds
Gladiators.
like some
American
fucking
Gladiators,
crazy,
nice.
or a couple of kids on a rainy day at their
Yeah.
mom and dad's house, doing some stupid shit,
Right.
That's what this reminds me of. It's so awful, though, that these people were killed. The 2 women that were killed,
Yeah.
just absolutely fucking horrible. Now, the 2 women that were killed, we're talking about Yvonne Beseda and Julia Standley. Incredible bravery for them to volunteer to go, and I didn't realize that about the kids' ages and stuff. I mean, that definitely makes this even worse. And I'm sure the hostages that survived had a lot of mental shit to go through. That you did mention the priest that was injured in the shooting. Ignacio Cuevas was the one inmate that survived, but not for long, because he gets a death sentence, and we know in Texas
That don't take long.
they're not fucking around. He's in the right place. They just fucking relocated
Right,
his
like-
ass to death row, and he's in the same prison, death row ID 526. So, Tex, what is it like there at the Walls unit on death row? What kind of life are those guys leading as compared to like general population?
Now they're actually not housed at the Huntsville unit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's 190 males on death row right now in Texas.
Goddamn.
And they're at the Pulaski unit in Livingston. It's like right on the Louisiana border.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then there's 6 female inmates on death row, and they're in the Mountain View unit in Gatesville, where I work. Now, it typically takes a while to exhaust all the inmates' appeals for like court
Yeah,
and stuff
all
like
their
that.
resources, yeah.
Yeah. And the usual stay on death row is, get this, 17 and a half years. And that's in Texas. I don't know about anywhere
Right,
else.
right. But
Here,
But
but
I'd
when they
do a
were
little
doing
research.
executions here, it's like 20 years plus.
yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of them. I mean, Gacy was a little bit, what was it about 20, 25?
Yeah, something
Like that. So, I mean, somebody like Gacy,
Yeah.
it took a while. But now here, they're not doing them at all.
That what you just said kind of interests me, Tex, when you were saying that prison, Pulaski or whatever it's called, and it's like on the Louisiana border almost.
Right.
Does that is it just maybe to me? Does that seem kind of like risky putting people that close to a border like that, where it could make things a lot more complicated for them just to go skip state if they do escape? You know what I'm saying? Like instead of keeping them in one area in one state, I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I've been to the Pulaski unit, and
Nobody's going anywhere there.
Man, I don't think so.
Dude, I don't think I'm
they
going
got-
somewhere sometimes.
They got a lot of things there that I'm not going to talk
Right,
about.
right.
Sure.
There's a lot of
Security.
safety features they
Yeah,
have
that's
there.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I was just curious.
An interesting fact that I found from the research I was doing on death row. Since 1973, when they put the death penalty back into effect, 186 people that have been sentenced to death in the United States have been exonerated, and that's including 16 in Texas.
Wow.
Wow.
And to me, honestly, that's too damn many. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
that
saying?
is.
Beyond a reasonable doubt should be beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
And I'll get off that little.
No.
Opinion.
I've definitely changed my outlook on this subject since we've been doing this podcast because of what he just said.
You know what?
That's fucked up.
I think we just
That's
saw
fucked
a
up.
time period, though, that you're never going to see again and you never saw before, where with the introduction of DNA and everything, and it either proved or falsified a lot of
Right.
people's cases, because at that
DNA
time
is
there
a
wasn't
thing now.
DNA.
It's like, no.
Now that it is a thing going forward,
Like a
you would
major
think that
thing.
they're going to be a little more precise about, or correct about their
Yeah,
assumptions.
but like, the hair follicle
Right.
analysis,
Yeah.
that turns out to be a bunch
That's
of horse
true.
shit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it did.
and we were going to do, and we probably will eventually, an episode on false confessions,
Right.
because that's a thing. So, I obviously the
I'm going to talk about
typical
false
situation, everybody in law enforcement, from the cops that make the arrest to the prosecutor and everybody along the way, they're doing what they think is right. But
Right.
are there mistakes made? Of course.
Yeah.
They're human beings, but like Tex said, that's a lot of fucking people to be exonerated that shouldn't have fucking been there in the first
yeah.
place. Because what a fucking nightmare would that be, that you're in a prison and you didn't do it.
Yep.
That's just
Like,
fucked
yeah,
up.
literally, why am I here?
Right. So Chris Cuevas is executed May of 1991.
Some of the best last words ever.
Yeah,
like-
what was his last words to the warden?
Like, he just looks at him like, okay, warden, roll him.
Yeah, I'm going to a beautiful
Yeah, I'm going to a
place.
beautiful place. Okay, warden, roll him.
Roll them. So there you go. I like Gacy though. Kiss my ass.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That's a classic.
Oh, yeah.
Now I did see there was a few songs written in tribute of old Fred Carrasco. I'm not sure what the deal is with that.
It's the cartel anthem. It's like the GD anthem.
I did see that the Trojan Taco was mentioned in an episode of Orange is the New Black, and they were talking about prison breaks and shit that went wrong.
Really?
So,
That's fucking
That's
crazy.
kinda
I didn't
funny.
see that.
and
never
there
watched
have
that
been
show
many
either, so-
articles written about it. I did see there was one called "Prison Hostage: The Siege of the Walls Prison in Huntsville, Texas," that you can read through an online library. I was looking at that. It's an account of one of the hostages that survived. I'm sure it would be a fascinating read. I did not read it, but William T. Harper also wrote the book. I mentioned this, 11 Days in Hell,
yeah.
which I did not read either. So it sucks because you want to read everything, watch
Yeah.
everything, and just, there's just not enough time in the day. And in all this, I'm writing books too, so it's just fucking unbelievable. Now, Tex, there's plenty of blame to go around here, but we were talking earlier about those after-action type events, but when it comes to heads rolling, is some of that kind of symbolic, or, how's that all going down?
Yeah, a lot of it's symbolic. I know nowadays there's like I said, large investigations that go along with any major incident. Even if the public knows nothing about the incident, they still do the SIRs or the serious incident reviews.
Okay.
Heads do roll, and that's tragic in its own way. I know a few people that here recently with the escape.
Right.
They lost their jobs.
Oh, that sucks.
They have families to take care of. Man.
Right.
And
Yeah, that's
really
shitty.
most of it was symbolic, like you
Right.
said, scapegoats.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, corrections is a reactive industry. It's set in its ways, and it just happens that way.
Right. Very interesting story, guys. Anything to add to this one? No? Tex,
Yeah, you got
anything I
anything,
missed or
Tex?
anything you wanted to bring up?
No, I don't think so, man.
Cool.
I think we
Yeah,
covered
I think
it all.
we did.
I wanted to get those helmets.
Yeah,
Hell
that's
yeah.
good. And the metal, I like that.
Yep,
Well, we
yep.
needed some metal.
Yeah,
we got
man.
plenty of it because I can't imagine how fucking heavy. And Joey's got this fucking nice tailored suit on.
Yeah.
Now he's got to put this clunky ass fucking metal thing on it.
He thinks where he's going, he's going to be able to get all the suits he wants, though.
That's true. That's
gonna
true.
be
You
like-
just got to look good
Right.
on the bottom half
Yeah.
if he's walking out to the
soon as
armored
he
car.
steps
When he
off.
gets two Castros, he's going to be looking sharp. It's fine.
Sharp, yeah.
In Miami, somebody will take care of him.
Right,
I'm sure.
right.
I
All
did
right.
think it was crazy though how like they were getting together with the fucking the prison maintenance guy or whatever to construct this fucking helmet though. They made like the prototype and
Yeah.
shit. Like, no, this ain't what we. This is what we need right here. It's like, all
Well, you
right,
got
dude.
11 days. I mean, what you got to do something.
Yeah.
Trivial Pursuit gets old after 11 days.
It's fucking crazy.
Now, I did my research for this one, watching a couple of the good docs I saw on YouTube. Some of the press coverage from 1974 is kind of interesting. Some of the stuff outside the prison, the daughter of the hostage was
right.
very fascinating. I found a couple of really good articles in a San Antonio newspaper. So there is stuff out there if you want to read it. You're in Texas, you want to go to that museum there
Hell
at the
yeah.
Huntsville Prison. That's fucking cool. I think that would be fascinating to see that. I know I would love to see that. Now, next week, we're going to be doing a bonus episode on a metal legend, John Zazula, the man who founded Megaforce Records. The amount of fucking bands this guy brought to the fore is just unfucking believable. I mean, Metallica, Anthrax, Overkill, Testament, and on and on and on. This dude was a fucking beast. From the Bronx, only a few blocks from where I grew up. He's older than I am, but I was
But still,
fascinated.
like-
I asked my dad because he gives the address of his apartment building in the
Yeah.
book I read. And I text my dad. I'm like, Dad, how close is this to where we lived? He's like, it's like 3 blocks away. So it's like
Goddamn,
right
yeah.
there. Yeah, it was
Right.
kind of cool. So I'm really excited to talk about John. He passed away here a couple years ago. Just a legend and definitely going to be cool. We do bonus episodes on different topics, but this time we're doing a metal bonus episode.
Shit,
but
yeah.
it's a cool one because everybody knows the bands I mentioned. I mean, it's just really cool.
Hell
Really
yeah.
good pictures in the book of old school
Yeah.
Cliff Burton, puking, like all kinds of cool shit. Joey, what about some page a days for us?
I do got some page a days. I had a shorter one last week, and that's because some of it bled over for what I'm going to say today. So, again, thanks, Page a Day. Also, I just personally want to say thanks, Tex, again for being on. I love
Hell
having
yeah.
you on here.
Right?
Hey.
So, okay, so this one we're talking about, the first one is the Angel Makers of Nagraev. This
Norwegian,
Hungarian. Yeah. So this was an anonymous letter that was published in June 1929 edition of their Gazette. And this is just somebody that's just trying to figure out what's going on in their town, basically. And the anonymous letter said, "The authorities are doing nothing, and the poisoners are carrying out their work undisturbed. This is my last attempt. If this also fails, then there is no justice." Now, what they were referring to is between 1914 and 1929, there were up to 50 people that were poisoned to death in this Hungarian village of Nagriev. The victims started as abusive husbands and in-laws.
Right.
But then the murders quickly spun out of control, and they began to include things like burdensome parents, unwanted children. So dozens of townspeople were complicit or active participants in the killings, but at the center of it all was the town's midwife, Susanna Fazakas. And her name is spelled with Z's in front of the S's in Susanna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
When the women of Nagriev had a problem, Fazakas, she often prescribed poison, either supplying it herself or suggesting a homemade arsenic recipe by boiling down flypaper and skimming the poison that rose to the
The
top.
fuck out of here.
So they could just do it in their own home, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So Fazakas' cousin, he filed the death certificates in town, so they allowed the murders to go undetected for fucking ever, basically, you know? The anonymous letter did catch the attention of the Hungarian authorities, and by the end of 1929, 50 bodies had been exhumed, and 46 of them were found to contain arsenic. Wow. 34 middle-aged women and one man were arrested and put on trial. Susanna Fazakas was not one of them. When the police came to get her, she drank a vial of the poison that she had hidden in her dress and killed herself.
Oh, man, some Leonard Lake shit.
God damn.
So one of the angel makers, whenever they were in the court, this was one of their quotes. They said, "We are not murderesses. We neither stabbed nor drowned our husbands. They have simply died from poison. It was an easy death for them and not a murder."
God damn.
Wow. What the hell? Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so the angel makers.
That's a girl you want to take home to mom there. Wow. Jesus Christ.
I got two more. This one's a little bit longer, but this one's pretty good. And this is about the satanic panic that happened in Martinsville. So this is up in Canada that we're going to right here.
Okay.
So we all know the satanic panic, like especially through the 80s and 90s, where everybody thought that, they thought the satanic ritual abuse was spreading everywhere in the world.
Right.
Allegations of hundreds of children being abused physically and sexually, and their belief system was that this was being done by adult Satan worshipers. So there was little or no evidence that any ritualistic abuse occurred in most of these publicized cases.
Like, legit.
But nevertheless, satanic panic was spreading, and by
Satan.
I mean, it's Satan.
Yeah, because Satan.
And also, you know, getting close to the year 2K, whenever it got, so like those people still had their argument, like, oh, this is going to happen, and
right, it's
some
be
people
the end
would
of the
listen,
world or
you know.
whatever. Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, in late, this is in Martinsville, Saskatchewan, northern Canada. In late 1991, there was this Martinsville nurse, and she noticed marks on her 2-year-old daughter's bottom that seemed angrier than the average diaper rash. So she asked her daughter, you know, what happened, and the toddler reported that a stranger had been poking her. When asked again later, the daughter specified that she was poked with a pink rope. So the next day, the mother asked a third time, and the girl said that the stranger lived at Ron and Linda Sterling's house, which that's the house that she went to daycare. So a few days later, after getting more details from the girl, the parents called the police, and they believed that their daughter had been molested by Travis Sterling, who was Ron and Linda's adult son, who lived there too. So a pediatrician examines the young girl. She sees no signs of abuse, but the parents are still convinced that it's happening. You know what I'm saying? Travis has been accused of sexual assault before that. 3 years prior, a 9-year-old girl reported being groped repeatedly at the daycare, but the complaint was never investigated. So that's just a fucking drop in the ball situation.
That's fucked.
I hate hearing that shit.
So Claudia Bryden, who was a former Royal Canadian Mounted Police officer, began working on the case and quickly became overwhelmed and consulted her superiors for support. To no avail. She was like, I can't do this on my own. You have to send me resources.
Right, I
and
need
they
help.
were like, no,
Yeah.
we don't have, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
They weren't being cooperative. But more parents and children came forth with sexual assault allegations, and the case file grew. So in early 1992, the case takes a hard turn. During police interviews, the children started mentioning a blue building called the, quote, the Devil Church. where they endured abuse and witnessed ritual sacrifices. There, children were kept in cages, forced to drink blood, and watched as humans were ripped limb from limb. Some of the children claimed that there were people engaging in the rituals that they were wearing uniforms, that they were cops.
Wow.
What the fuck, dude? Wait,
God
what?
damn.
So,
What the fuck is
so
happening?
by spring, Martinsville now is reeling with rumors of a satanic cult called the Brotherhood of the Ram. A local pastor calls in a tip to the police, warning that a group of Satan worshippers was planning to attack Martinsville in the dead of night. So the new police chief in town, Mike Johnston, he sends an urgent memo to all the officers telling them to arm themselves with whatever weapons they have and brace for the chaos. So they're fucking on standpoint for this satanic group that's going to come fuck their town up.
Fuck?
The Satan worshippers never come, of course, but in June of 1992, 9 people, a young babysitter, the whole Sterling family, and 5 police officers were arrested on 180 counts of various types of child abuse.
God damn, dude.
100.
Yeah. Because of the publicity surrounding the case, an RCMP-led task force was brought in to take over the investigation, and immediately the task force recognized flaws in the investigation up to that point. Particularly, the biggest one was in the questioning of the children, who almost all the interviews were fucking the kids being asked leading questions, and they were even praised when they gave the right answers. Wow. So we've seen that before, like we were talking about the forced confessions and shit.
Right.
They doubted whether the children were ever taken to a devil church at all, and they believed that some of the children where they claimed to have been taken and that the identities of the people that they were giving were just wrong.
Wow.
Like, terrible. So the RCMP decided not to bring any further charges, but all remaining suspects, some say there were up to 200, they were all cleared. So everybody else that was involved. But by the end of 1992, prosecutors decided to forego preliminary hearings and go straight to trial for the 9 suspects that they had already charged. So everybody else that was involved in this, they just forgot all about
walk
it.
away. Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Now, the move was meant to minimize further trauma to the children, whose testimony was the only evidence that the prosecution had. There was no physical evidence that any of the accused had done anything. There was nothing else except for these statements. So the babysitter was tried first and convicted of 7 sex-related charges, including sexual assault, unlawful confinement, and threatening to use a gun while committing sexual assault. The only direct evidence against her was the testimony of the 2 young boys. Her convictions were later overturned. Next was Saskatoon police officer John Popowich. He had only visited Martinsville once in passing to fill up on gas. But there was no adult witnesses that could even place him in Martinsville, and the children who accused him, they failed to identify him in a police lineup. They showed a lot, and they didn't know who he was. So obviously, a lot of this shit was coerced and planted. He was acquitted, and he received an apology and 1.3 million Canadian dollars because of that one.
Jesus.
The Sterling family, they were charged together and endured a 5-month trial, the longest in Saskatchewan history at the time. And in the end, Linda and Ron were cleared, but their son Travis was convicted of 2 counts of sexual assault, and he was sentenced to 2 years in prison. The charges against the remaining 4 accused were all dropped. The town was left reeling, and the criticism of the way the case and investigation, I mean, that was huge. Everybody was fucking talking shit. So much of the focus remains on the question of the children, who, in some instances, they were told that they could go play, but only after they told police what happened. So they had to tell them basically what they wanted to hear, and they would reward them. They were praised and called braved after alleged abuse. There were times when the children were even promised coloring books and visits to see the police dog. Travis's lawyer remarked how much of the testimony resembled a fairy tale like Hansel and Gretel, perverted by the adults asking leading questions.
So, like, basically, like, the cops had some problem with this fucking dude, so they're just making this up?
Or maybe they did something and it was a big cover-up because the cops were involved.
So the question I have is the son that was living there,
yeah,
he was the pink rope then?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And he got charged. He did 2 years after all, and he had a prior sex offense, you know. Right. But no, the Martinsville fucking nightmare is what they call it. That's a crazy case. So one of the FBI Behavioral Science Unit special agents, Ken Lenning, when he was talking about the wave of the Satanic Panic and all that, he said, he was quoted as saying, there was this idea that bad things, evil things, were somehow related to the work of the devil. This seemed to be particularly true in any crimes that had one of both of these two characteristics, extreme violence or sexual perversion. So
Interesting.
That's Satanic Panic.
yeah, that's Satanic Panic. All right, so I got one more, and this one's actually a push. I read this. This was actually supposed to be for next week, but I didn't give a fuck. I had to use it because it fucking brought up something we've been talking about. So
Okay.
so this is the last one from Page a Day, but this is about the tiny coffins at Arthur's Seat. So, in June 1836, a group of boys went rabbiting on Arthur's Seat, which is an extinct volcano in Edinburgh, Scotland. Isn't that how
Okay.
you say it, right? Edinburgh.
Yep.
There, under a pile of rocks, they made a macabre discovery. There was 17 tiny coffins, only 3.75 inches long, and each one had a little wooden figure inside of it.
yeah.
Nearly 200 years after the discovery,
Fucking
only
crazy.
8 of the coffins remain, and theories about their origin and significance still abound. Some believe the dolls represent sailors that were lost at sea, like we've heard those
Okay.
stories. Others think that they were part of a witchcraft ceremony.
Okay.
Which both of those seem feasible to me.
Right.
Now, one particularly interesting theory involves serial killers William Burke and William Hare. So we just did an episode about
Right.
them.
Yeah, Birkin.
Often erroneously referred to as body snatchers, Burke and Hare murdered their victims, 17 in all, in the late 1820s, and sold them for use in anatomy classes. At the time, it was widely believed that burial was necessary for resurrection of the last judgment of God at the end of humankind. So it's been suggested by some that someone may have buried these effigies in an attempt to save the souls of Burke and Hare's victims.
Interesting.
No shit.
Wow.
Right on. That's
yeah, good
fucking.
tie into Birkin
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. No shit.
yeah.
So that was
Wow.
Page a Day.
dude.
Hell yeah, some good Page a Day there. All right, well, we've had our fair share of murdering tonight. We're going to crank up some
yeah.
metal. Tex, thank you very, very
Thank
Yeah,
much
thank you,
brother.
Tex.
for coming on and
Dude, it was
talking
fun,
to
man.
always a good time.
Trojan Taco too.
Trojan Taco. Fuck yeah, dude.
That's awesome, dude. So, Tex, what the hell do we need to do?
Let's get
Just
our metal
because
on.
CK has passed on, he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you. All right. Great metal motherfucker, always.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, guys, great metal motherfucker music is playing. That means we are in metal.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got the horns that need to be passed. So Chris is passing.
Chris has
them.
like all 5
I'm
of
giving
them
you all
over there.
5. Yeah, I was saying, I'm giving you all 5 this
Oh,
time.
wow. You got 5 of them
This
now.
fucking
Jeez.
metal's getting heavy as fuck.
We've collected them all.
So you got the horns physically, goat horns being passed from Chris to Joey. So, Joey, you got the horns, and that means it's your call on what we're going to talk about here in this segment. And you have chosen another Illinois band.
Yeah, Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder.
You've heard him
Now-
talk about him before.
Oh, yeah. Now, I have done a lot of Illinois bands, and people are probably like, God, fucking quit that shit.
Didn't
But-
even know there was that many bands in Illinois.
Right. But it also worked out well with this one, like I've done with a few of the other ones where I got to do an interview with Phil, who does Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder. Some of y'all know him as Gummo Bacon, that are listeners to the podcast, because he'll comment on the shit as that.
Right.
But yeah, so it was really cool to network that, because like he really is a friend and a supporter of our podcast, and I do love his music, so it all fucking worked out well. But yeah, so metal segment today.
I remember I bought CK a Necro Cannibal
You
Ass
did,
Grinder
yeah,
T-shirt.
and he would try to rock it out to see if
Yeah,
he'd get
nobody
reactions.
got it.
Yep.
Like he wanted to offend somebody.
All right, so Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder. It started in 2006, so it's actually, its initiation was quite a long time ago in Pana, Illinois, but it was only pretty much active for a couple of years before it was revamped. And in 2016 is whenever it became what it is today. And Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder is a one-man grindcore band. He has a lot of different influences, though. He has like sludge elements and things like that, which is really awesome. So 2016 is whenever Trash Stick brought it back to become what it is, NCAG now. Now, we look up the Encyclopedia Metallum, the Metal Archives, to check out some shit. I wasn't sure if Necro Cannibal was on there, but he is.
Oh, nice.
So I had to check that out, but I had to fucking get a good laugh because it tells you what the lyrical themes of each band are.
Yes, I do like those.
So Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder's themes are, according to Encyclopedia Metallum, gore, death, sex, drugs, B-movies, science fiction, conspiracy theories, and poop.
Yes.
So I was like, all right, that works.
There you go.
Now,
Very thorough, man.
yeah. Now, since I know him, if it was me, I would add robots and dicks. To
Robot,
that.
you gotta have
Yeah.
the fucking robots and dicks.
So now, Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder is all done by one man, like I said. Is Trash Stick, a.k.a. Gummo Wall Bacon. Some people call him Phil. But he does everything. He does the guitar, the bass, the programming, the vocals. He has pitch-shifted vocals. In 2017, Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder, he came out with some releases. So 2017 is whenever he really started dropping music and shit. In 2017, did a 3-way split with Bill Nye and also Ocular Leech Infestation. He also did a 4-way split in 2017 with Urethral Injection, Bill Nye, and Embedded Flesh. He did a little EP called Stocking Stuffer, which he did at the end of the year, which was like 2 tracks. And then he did the killer EP in 2017, Asses of the Wake. And that album's just
That
fucking
album's
awesome.
dope as fuck.
He's going to reissue that, I think. I took the artwork or the whatever, the cover, and I repainted it, which was cool because it was a picture or whatever.
And then you made it
And
your
he
own,
originally
yeah.
just wanted me to redraw it or whatever. I was like, you know what, I'm going to paint that. It looked cool. So anyway, he's going to use that for the reissue. A little bit of fucking indigestion from the Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts, yeah.
In 2018, he released the albums Robot with a Human Dick.
Fuck yeah.
Which that came out on my label, FTA Records.
And you did the artwork for the album. cover
Yeah,
work.
which is pretty classic shit. That's now sold out and out of press through me, so I think he's going to take that and also reissue that, which is cool. In 2018, he also released the album, or the split, Midwest Limb Extraction, which that was with Fetal Autopsy and Menstrual Munchies.
Hell yeah.
Old Jesse
El
Butcher.
Jesse,
Fuck
yep.
yeah.
Who he's bringing that shit. He keeps talking about bringing that back. You see that?
What?
Menstrual
Menstrual
Munchies.
Munchies?
Yeah,
No
he's like,
shit.
fuck
Oh,
that.
wow.
He goes, time's passed. Okay.
Yeah, it's been
Interesting.
time. Yeah, bring that shit back, man.
All right, so 2019 comes along and he comes with the full length Necronomicon Sex Mortis, which that fucking album's so fucking good. He put this one out on his own label, which was called See Through Teeth Recordings.
Yes, sir.
He eventually stopped that label and then started what he's doing now called Mondo Filth, which is his label that he's doing now. 2020 comes around. He releases a 4-way on his new label, which was Mondo Filth by that point. And the 4-way was NCAG with Pustule, Vaginal Spaghetti, and Willie. And then also in 2020, he releases an EP, which was called Gorfine and Quarantine, which is an awesome fucking ditty right there.
Gorfine and Quarantine.
he's
It's
played
not
a-
like that. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not a good fucking album title for that year. And
Oh,
shit.
yeah. Perfect for that.
Right.
So Phil's a fucking awesome dude. Love hanging out with him. He's a dude who I always said, like, if he lived closer, I would hang out with him on the regular. Like,
Right.
that's the kind of dude he is. But he's played, quite a bit of shows since fucking putting NCAG back into fucking, into the spotlight and shit. And he's done like the Pornfield shows. He played out at Bloodshed. He played a couple of the Heart of Illinois shows. He was also a Cannibal Cookout.
Yep.
So he's
Which
definitely.
he also does a split with Bill Nye, fucking
Chlamydia
Jizz.
Jizz, yeah, another project they do, Chlamydia Jizz. He also went out with Bill Nye, and they both played a show out in Vegas too. So that was cool that they got to take that out there.
Yeah.
he's got a new album coming out. He was talking about some new NCAG stuff. But
Fuck yeah,
yeah, that
that's
was
cool,
fucking
man.
Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder, man. Fucking represent that shit. We're gonna
We'll link to that in the episode description.
Absolutely.
And we're going to play a clip. You interviewed him.
Yes.
And get about a 5.5 minute clip. We're going to let you guys.
The full interview will go live the day after this drops.
That's right.
On Friday.
The full 21 minute interview will go live on Friday, the day after this goes live. So, all right, check this out.
Trash gig.
You're the best bike in the whole world.
Yeah, what it looks like is that you are fucking yourself with a dildo bite.
Yo, what's up, motherfuckers? Back in this motherfucker. Joey from Murder Metal Mayhem talking with fucking Trash Dick Phil, Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder himself. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. Fucking people that have heard my interviews before, they know how this goes. I got 10 questions. I'm going to zip them out. Trash was nice enough to come in from down south, down in Pana area, sit down and talk with me a little bit. So, some of our listeners, they might not know a lot about your band, Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder. Why don't you give us a quick bio about NCAG?
All right. Well, let's see. Started doing it back in 2006. It was like a little two-piece. Me and a buddy of mine, who later became my couch guy for quite some years. And we started doing it and just fucking around, just having fun, like it wasn't ever... It's still not supposed to be anything serious, so, But did that for a couple years and then dropped off and didn't really do anything and fucked with other projects. And then I just started doing it again as the one-man deal in like 2016, I think. Started it back up.
Yeah. It's pretty cool because whenever you first approached me to do you're like, I need a logo.
Yeah.
You told me that name. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Probably the response of most people when they first hear the name.
Yeah.
Then it fucking definitely grows on you.
Yeah, and I can't take full credit for that. That was both me and Couch Guy just trying to make something ridiculous.
That's what's up, man. Well, I'd say that you guys accomplished that. So, moving on, I noticed that in your bio about Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder, you didn't say one fucking thing about robot dicks. So tell us about some robot dicks real fast.
All right, so I don't even know where this all comes from, but there's like, it's like maybe conspiracy theory that I made on my own, I guess. So other people, you need to get up with this, but it's like this robot travels back in time just to bite dicks off because he wants to be the only robot or the only person that owns a human dick still in the future.
And he's not even a human.
And he just like enslaves bitches and
that's some lizard shit.
It's like Terminator but porno.
So motherfuckers, if anybody out there is wanting to listen to some Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder, you better get ready for some fucking robots and some human dicks. Know that. Alright, so here's something else. Fucking what's up with musicians in your scene trying to cuck out their bitches to you?
I don't know. That I don't even know, man. It's like I got the name Trash Dick, so I guess they're just like, fuck it,
Please sleep with
Please make my wife or girlfriend gross. Like, all right, yeah.
So, if anybody's wanting to tour and go down to Pana, you might be able to fuck somebody's wife. Just so you know. Alright, switching gears a little bit. You've been to Full Terror every year. Full Terror Soul. I have too. We're going to continue that. You're a member of the Gore Camp. We represent hard. Tell us here at Murder Metal Mayhem the story of the hanging bombs.
Oh, okay. Well, you get a bunch of fucking degenerates together in like this kind of shed, kind of permanent tent I guess we'll call it. And everybody's just having a blast, you know, and the last day you got to kind of commemorate you making it through FTA somehow.
For another year.
Fucking hang up the bong, you know? Because you got to take a fucking bong to FTA.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Cataclysm? Ripping bongs, watching Cataclysm.
Amazing.
Like, that's like the best way to watch a show.
Or last year, Weed Eater.
Yeah.
During their set.
Yeah, if you're not smoking bongs during Weed Eater,
Yeah.
you fucked up. You know.
So yeah, that's a real thing. Like for the last 2 years, we've had the bong there, and we hang it from the rafters.
Yeah.
Hence the hanging bong. And the first year we came back this year and went to Full Terry to our spot. We're like, because there's biker rallies and shit there. Like it's a fucking big spot. And we're like, there's no way that bong is still going to be there. I thought as soon as we left, one of the redneck ranch hands was going to just pull it down.
Hell yeah, man. Got a little
the bong
tease.
story, dude.
A little
FTA.
tease there. 5.5 minutes of your conversation with old Gummo Wallbacon there, Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder. Very cool stuff, Joey.
It does not get any more intelligent from that point. So if you like that, definitely check it out. It's
the
pretty fucking
full
classic.
interview, 21 minutes of it, is coming out the day after this episode goes live as a bonus episode, so don't miss it.
Thanks again, Trash.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Trash,
Very
you're the
cool.
shit,
And for
dude.
supporting the show. We
Hell
appreciate that. Chris, what about the Lost Classic tonight?
Lost Classic from tonight is from fucking 1991.
Okay.
Fucking Massacres from Beyond.
Oh, nice.
Fucking just good old school fucking death metal, dude. Fucking nice death cover, Corpse Grinder on there, dude. Just old school death metal, man. Fucking
Right.
91 From Beyond by fucking Massacre. Fucking dig it.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I get in a kick of wanting to hear old school death metal, and it just, there's nothing like it, man. It's just that era
Right?
of death metal is just fucking badass.
Yeah.
Really is good stuff. Very cool. All right. What about, what have we been listening to, Chris? Anything new? Anything different?
I mean, I'm still like unpacking shit and everything at the new
Right.
house, and like I just play again. It's still just random shit, and then like Courtney plays a lot of bluegrass. I've been hearing a lot of bluegrass.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is whatever. I don't mind it.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. There's just always just random music playing. I
That's
hand the
cool.
keyboard over to Cashman when he's there, hand it to anybody who's there. I'm like, just play music. I don't care, dude.
Right. Cool. What about you, Joey?
Jamming Necro Cannibal, obviously. I've had the fucking that new Between the Killings in the car for a few days.
Oh, that's fucking
I
nasty,
picked up the
dude.
physical copy from
When you was up at the
Vaughn
show.
whenever I went up to the show. I saw
Yeah.
Avidity this last weekend.
Yeah, how was that?
That was fucking awesome up at the Cobra Lounge, fucking live wire in
An elbow
Chicago.
deep. What were you saying about that elbow deep? Couldn't use glass, so what'd they do?
Yeah, elbow deep, which if anybody that listens knows, they're like,
Dude.
they do some wrestling shit and fuck each other up usually on stage, which is a fucking classic.
Like that hardcore wrestling
Yeah.
where they literally.
But the
bleed
club
and
was
shit.
like you can't have like glass, so they couldn't break like light bulbs and shit like that. So he was like, okay, so fucking, he ended up taking he had fucking barbecue skewers, a bag of those, and fucking the guitarist shoved them into his head, and he's got like fucking 15, 20 hanging out for it.
like the bamboo shish
Yeah, the
kebab
bamboo
skewers.
ones.
Oh my
and then,
God.
Before the show, like I was talking to him, and they're all wearing for this show. They all wore like fucking dress suits and fucking suspenders and tie. It was funny. But I'm talking to the fucking the vocalist Jerry like before the show, and he's sitting there with like one of the miniature wiffle ball bats, and he's got double-sided tape wrapped around, and he's just putting thumbtacks all over it. And fucking during one of their tracks, he fucking just looks over to the fucking guitars and just fucking smacks him upside the head with that motherfucker. Thumbtacks fucking explode everywhere, and fucking the dude
my
has
God.
like 15 or 20 in his fucking head and shit.
Oh, man.
But yeah, no, that was fucking dope. But anyway, so while I was there talking to Vaughn, I picked up the Between the Killings, which I've been listening to. I also picked up, he's got Dead and fucking Hems of the Sick on vinyl, which
Yeah,
I
dude.
saw a picture of that.
man,
yeah.
fucking so cool. But so I've fucking been jamming that shit. I've been jamming one of my older albums. I did a split with Slamophiliac Goremonger called The Consumption of Those We Love, and every now and then it's wild because I just put out so much shit that I'll go back and listen to stuff, and it's
Remembered.
like, yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, man, this shit was pretty good, you know. And then I was also listening to Vomitus, Empires of Great Enslavement, which Vomitus is a band I just fucking love. Fucking brutal death metal, groovy as hell. So that's what I've been jamming.
Fuck yeah. I've been checking out some Gruesome. I mentioned them earlier. That band that's definitely death, like an homage to death, an old school death. Really, really good shit. Misery Index, the newest one. Schizophrenia. I listened to them today, both the full length and the EP, and still jamming a little Merciful Fate from that King Diamond new look he's got with Merciful.
Seeing all the fucking videos and pictures from the shows.
Oh man, just look killer.
Yeah.
They played all the big fests over there in Europe, and the full stage setup with the huge inverted cross and shit. Pretty dark, and definitely Merciful Fate. We've been talking about this bands. If you're in a band and you want us to check you out, you can contact us at pete@murdermetalmayhem.com. There's no guarantee we're going to play it, but we'll give it a listen, and if we dig it, we'll be in touch. Maybe we'll do an interview with you. Maybe we'll do a review of it. Joey, you've been doing a lot of reviews.
Yeah, I've been doing the reviews, and we've been doing it through fucking
Imperative PR.
Imperative PR, which is an awesome fucking company.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool because people have liked like some of the ones we've been doing, and one of my buddies fucking noticed from the band VHS, which is my buddy's band from Canada. They're fucking awesome, like horror movie grind and shit. I've done a split with them and shit, but he hit me up and he was like, "Man, would you want to do a review of the new album we're putting out?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll do that."
Yeah.
So even that's not even through the Imperative PR. That's just a band contacting me, and I'll do that through Murder Metal Mayhem, so y'all can check it out. But yeah,
we've had a few contacting us.
If you're in a band, like that's for real. We'll do that shit.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Check all that shit out.
Yeah.
I'm not good at interviews, but I'm like, yep, it was pretty fucking dope. Loved it. That's my that's my review.
I can't remember what it was, but you sent me a new fucking interview to fucking look at.
Yeah.
Which is definitely one that I wanted to do.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
It's like a split with a bunch of different bands on it, but it's fucking brutal. Gorepot was on it.
Yeah, it's the one with it's Kill Everything, Necrotic Gore Beast, Virulent Excision, and Gorepot. So that'll be the next one I do for Imperative PR.
Hell yeah. And if you want to old school it, send it to Murder Metal Mayhem, P.O. Box 554, Hayworth, Illinois 61745. You want to throw a sticker or two in there, we might throw it on the door because the table's just about full. So we're branching out. The dry erase board I saw has a Jesus sticker on it. I was laughing. I saw that today. Now, I got the horns next. It'll be in a couple of weeks because next week's a bonus, but I got the horns next. And I'm going some old school death metal, a band from California called Laceration.
I thought it was Lactation. No, I'm just kidding.
They might have something to say about that. Right, they were really cool dudes. I interviewed the singer and guitarist.
Yeah, their music's dope as fuck.
Yeah, they're definitely badass. And so that'll be the next regular episode we do. I'll be doing the metal segment on those guys. So really good shit. And I did the interview, and just like we're doing this week, we'll do it that one where the interview will be released in its entirety after the episode as a bonus. Plug the 666 Club, guys. How about that? I mean, the way people can get a hold of us and support it. $3 a month.
Dude, like, you get all kinds of goddamn perks.
The discounts on the merch, the episodes early.
As soon as it's done, like,
you get the interviews the moment I get them done and I upload them. You're getting them just like you guys get them too. So it's a cool thing, and it's only $3. So Patreon.com.
Episodes that nobody else gets to hear for months. That's right. Already recorded.
That's right. We got to do another one of those here before too long.
Oh yeah.
So so it's a good way to support the show. 666 Club. Link to that in the episode description. All right, guys. Well, we have done plenty of metal tonight. So, Joey, what the fuck do we need to do?
Let's get our mayhem on.
If anybody tries to take my picture, I'll break their face, you understand me? me Johnny Glass.
Yeah, what's up, motherfuckers? It's your boy, Punky 419 Skirt. I'm back with some more jams. This time I want to do a shout out to all the baby daddies in the house. All them boys that got they bitches pregnant, they welfare payments counting on that shit, so keep up the good work. You guys be populating the 419 with more little motherfuckers running around all over the goddamn place, and that's what's up. I'm dropping a special EP, Daddies of the 419, with 4 new songs just for them fathers out there. You know it's coming out on 419 Records, ho. Man, I got some tracks on this motherfucker that gonna be beating down the block. I got shit like, yo, who's your baby daddy? What about Gin and Jizz? Daddy fitting the fuck. And that new single that be dropping because it's so goddamn hot fire, Mama Needs That Bone. So pick up a copy of Daddies of the 419 on 419 Records and score 10% off when you mention my boys down at Murder Metal Mayhem. This is Punky out, bitch 419. Ho, fuck you, bitch.
Oh my
Daddy
God.
fit the fuck.
Daddy fit the fuck.
I'm glad that we're
Christ.
his boys now again after he shot at us last
Right,
week.
dude.
Oh,
That's
my
like,
God.
goddamn, dude.
Jesus.
I don't like being shot at.
Wow. Before that, some Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder. Joey, you were on that track with him.
Yeah, I did that. It was a Meth Fueled Deathbender. That was the name of the song. And something classic about that track is fucking... well, 2 classic things. That track right there is available on the new Goremonger mixtape that just came out this week. I just got the physical copies. Fucking check that out. That track's on there. But also, what's on the mixtape is I got some Punky Brooks shit.
I did see that.
Yeah, I used the fucking the WVK disc as like the outro. So whenever I did the fucking rap about WVK, and then I used the fucking the 419 Records one that I did. But also the intro to the mixtape is one that no one on here has heard before. It's just Punky Brooks talking about the new Goremonger shit. But what I'm going to do is, because on my Bandcamp I have individual tracks or whatever, I'll link that to the fucking Murder Metal Mayhem group page.
Oh, that'd be great.
After this drops so that people can check it out if they want to.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. And good interview you did.
Yeah.
And
Goddamn, Phil,
fucking
always
spread
a
the word
badass.
about some underground
I mean,
metal.
it makes it easy for me whenever it's somebody who I'm homies with, and we're
course.
just sitting there like it's-
Talking and
yeah,
shit.
It's a good
Yeah,
conversation.
So I can't take full credit for how fucking classic they come out because it is just natural. But
Yeah, no, it's all good. All right, well, we got some mayhem tonight, and you guys picked this very interesting topic here. We're going to, 3 of us, tell stories about one time we got our asses kicked.
Like, beat the fuck up.
Yeah, so Joey, you said you wanted to start.
yeah, I'll
Let's
start
go,
this
man.
one. I'm not even 100,000% positive I haven't already told this on here, but that's okay. Like
That's
if I
all right.
Dude, same, honestly.
yeah, if I did, then fuck it. But
Yeah, who cares? Reminisce.
Anyway, but this one also ties in with the prison aspect of the episode that we're doing.
Okay.
Because this happened to me while I was in prison. So if anybody didn't know, I was locked up, mad years ago or whatever here in Illinois. Because sometimes you come here on vacation, you leave on probation. That's what they say. So anyway, I went to the penitentiary. So anyway, while I was in there in this prison, I made my way to what they call minimum security towards the end of my bit, which was like the easiest. They had the most, I'm saying, like yard freedom and shit like that.
Right.
I wasn't in my cell like all day long. I was basically going to school or working out or doing something like all day long.
It's like basic training. They start you out really difficult,
Yeah.
and then as you go, it kind of eases up a
Right.
little bit.
So anyway, so I made it to this place whenever I was, I only had like half a year to go. So I was what they consider a short timer. Short timer, you just fucking do your best not to fucking get yourself off into any shit so you don't fuck your time
Don't
up.
do nothing dumb. Fucking.
Right. Now, there was this dude that I ended up in there with. He came in the same time that I did to the prison. And he was a big hoss, big old guy.
Right.
And they call him Country. Now, this dude would act one way when he was around all the white dudes. Then he would act totally different way when he was around like all the black dudes or whatever.
Right.
And he was just really, really phony and shit. So it would just fucking rub on me for no reason. Like, I should have just ignored this dude completely, but it just rubbed on me. So one time we're sitting there and we're in one of the same classes together. We're taking fucking college courses or whatever. Or I think at that time I was done taking courses and I was working as like a student aide for them, like teacher's assistant. And something that he was saying rubbed me the wrong way, and I fucking let it come out, and I said something like
something wrong.
Yeah, mouthy, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, "Yeah, man, I'll find you after fucking class," you know, and
it's like high school
yeah,
and shit.
it was just like that whole deal. Now, at the same time, this dude probably has as much time as I do. He doesn't have a lot of time either, so, like, he's not really trying to fuck himself up either, you don't think,
Right.
you know? So, at this time, I was on a fucking bunch of drugs.
While you're in prison.
Oh my God. Because in prisons, they like to just give people fucking pills and shit. Because basically, I believe that they use like inmates as guinea pigs, and these psychologists, psychiatrists, they're fucking watching like what goes on. I may be a little bit fucking conspiracy theoried about that, but I don't think I'm that far off. And I didn't take anything myself because I was always like, I don't want to have that follow me out in the world that I got fucking mental problems or anything. So I fucking told them I was totally fine, and I didn't fucking do all that shit, but other people did. And I would get their pills and shit that they wouldn't want to take because that's just part of the economy whenever you're locked up. So,
right, that's how you train.
So I was like, definitely not really in my right mind through this fucking period. And psychotropic drugs, like, they definitely can affect like your attitude and fucking your decision making and all that shit. And so I'm on all those fucking things. So there's probably like a whole reason why I fucking let this dude irritate me and why I fucking mouthed off to him and everything else. So anyway, so I say whatever I say. He fucking quips back at me. It's not like fucking it was a big fucking scene in the fucking room either. You know what I'm saying? It was just like known between us what was fucking going down.
Right.
So I walk out of the classroom first whenever the fucking thing's over with, and then he comes fucking walking out, and he said something like, "So you really want to fucking do this?" or you know, something along that lines. And I looked at him and I said, "Bro, I'm doing everything. Like, I'm like, bro, if you hit me, I will fucking laugh at you, man." And I'm fucking getting in his face, like talking shit, and he's like restraining himself, and he's not doing anything. You know what I'm saying?
And you're egging it on.
And I'm egging
shit.
it on, like, idiot. And finally I just fucking get up in this dude's face. I was like, "Yeah, you ain't gonna do nothing because you're a fucking bitch." And fucking as soon as I said that, he fucking reared back and cold cocked me upside my fucking head. I fucking stumbled back like,
wow.
I mean, this dude was fucking big. And I fucking stumbled back and like, I was still on my feet though, but definitely dazed and shit.
Like, oh, fuck.
And all of a sudden I just felt the warm fucking liquid pouring down my face, and I was like, all right. I fucking walked up to dude. I just started laughing. I was like, ha ha. I was like, "Motherfucker, I told you I'd laugh at you. You hit me, you know." And he's just like, "God damn." And he sees like my face bleeding and shit. And he's like, "Holy, there's blood all over the fucking ground and shit." And like, I calmed down after that. And like I said, this is like while I was taking all the pills and shit. So it's like fucking just up and down. Fucking.
Wow.
And I'm like, I shake his hand. I said, "Yeah, man, I fucking tried you and you fucking acted." I was like,
Yeah, you fucking got
respect
me,
to
dude.
you. You know what I'm saying? You fucked me up. And so we're like, "Oh, fuck, man. Now what do we do?" You know? And so me and him both go down to the infirmary, and we're like, "Man, we'll just say we're fucking playing basketball. I fucking caught an elbow," you know?
Right.
We go down to the infirmary and we fucking tell them that, and they're just like, Do you know how many times we hear that?
Every
sure.
fucking
Yeah,
day.
and I'm just like, well, this time it's true, you know? And there wasn't nothing they could do, and me and him were obviously, like, in there together, not being dicks to each
Right.
other, and they fucking, you know, I ended up getting fucking, like, 5 stitches. I had fucking raccoon eyes and a fucked up ass nose for, like, 3-4 days. Like, I was that dude in the joint that, you know, everybody was like, damn, he got fucked up, you know. But I got lucky. I didn't fucking lose any time at it. I didn't get sent to the hole. Like, but no, I got fucked up. That dude fucked me up. I tested him, and he fucking got me.
Took a shot.
Yeah.
Chris, what about you, dude?
Mine's a different story. Mine's at a bar.
Okay.
So I'm with some homies down in southern Illinois, like the Centralia area. And we're at this bar. And mind you, at this time, I'm rocking like a tall ass fucking like straight mohawk, like green fucking like punk style fucking mohawk.
Okay.
And we're down in this just old fucking like small ass town.
Right.
Fucking,
the good old boy shit
good old
going
boy
on.
shit. Now, when we go to this bar with our buddies, like I get told, hey, whatever you do not go anywhere without one of us. Don't fucking do it. So I tested my luck. We're out there we're having a good old time at the bar. I'm like, fuck it, I gotta smoke a cigarette. And I just like basically turned around and walked away and just went outside. Next thing I know, I'm waking up on the I don't even know what happened. I just know stories. So what I heard happened was I just walking outside and I just seen this chick. I was like, nice ass. So these three dudes just jump on me, dude.
Oh boy.
Like just start beating the fuck out of me is what I've been told. I don't remember none of this shit. So like I'm getting told like, dude, they fucking got you. We're fucking getting ready to beat ass and the cops show up and shit and the ambulance or whatever. And I just remember waking up like sitting on the curb by the ambulance and the motherfucking cops like, or the ambulance EMT was like, do you know where you are? I'm like, I'm in fucking Fairbury, which I didn't even live in Fairbury at the time at all. Like,
wow.
They're like, no, you're in Centralia. I was like, how the fuck did I get to fucking Centralia, Illinois? Like, now mind you, I had been drinking, like from the time we left Bloomington to go to Centralia, I just started drinking a bottle of vodka. I fucking hate vodka. Like, all the way there, I'm just in the back of the truck just pounding vodka, and then we go to the bar and do all this shit. So I ended up going to the fucking hospital. I got stitches like in the side of my in the corner, like the temple area of my left eye and shit.
Wow.
Fucking, I'm all like Cashman said, like raccoon-eyed and shit, just beat the fuck up. And I got some pain medication prescription. So the next day we go to fucking where we were at, the Walmart down there, the pharmacy, to get my prescription filled out. And old girl behind the counter was like, holy shit. I was straight up like, I'm a cage fighter. It's okay. Like straight up, she's like, oh, all right. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, I just apparently
Killer cage match before he was in
For
Murder
real,
Mill.
yeah, for real. But yeah,
Wow,
that's when I
crazy.
got the fuck beat out of me, dude. By fucking like three dudes. Like I don't remember none of it.
Wow.
Don't get drunk and talk shit. Apparently.
Well, my story is very different from both of you because I was completely 100% sober.
Well, oh yeah,
So here's my story. I was probably 19, 20, somewhere in there. Lived on my own with a roommate, and I was home one night. It was like a Friday night, I think, Friday or Saturday. And I'm home by myself, and I don't know if I think my friends came to my apartment, like a group of my friends, and they were like, man, you need to come down to the park. We used to hang out at this place called Rogers Park
right
in Danbury, which is where a lot of fucking stupid shit went down because you got a bunch of drunk people hanging around, smoking dope, driving the town, you know, and then come back and
doing the laps on the street.
Yeah, the circuit thing, you know. So anyway, so I'm like, what's going on, you know? And they're like, well, this dude's down there. There's three of them, and you know, they were fucking talking all this shit, blah blah blah, and you know, one of them looked pretty tough, and man, none of us could fucking, you know, we don't know what to do. And of course, looking back on it, I just should have said, why don't you just come on in and let's fucking have a good
just
time
chill
and
at my
fuck that
place,
shit.
fuck it.
But no, I'm like, all right, fuck that prick.
Of course.
So I get in my car, or they drove me, I don't remember now. I got down there, and we're standing out by their car, jamming tunes and just hanging out, thinking that maybe these guys are going to come back. Don't know. So the car pulls up with these 3 dudes in it, and one of them's like in the passenger seat, and he fucking says something, and I say something back to him like "fuck you" or something like that.
Right.
So he gets out of the fucking car. Now this dude, like at the time, I wasn't nearly as fat as I am now. Okay, so I mean, I was pretty good size and not fat, and this dude wasn't quite as bulky as I was. But this dude looked like he could fucking fight. And later found out he was a fucking Gold Glove fucking boxer in Danbury. He fucking came up to me and without like any indication, just like hauled off and fucking decked me like Joey was talking about.
Yeah.
Knocked my ass. I think I went to a knee. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, I got fucking tagged. And then I got up and we were going at it, but then he hit me again really hard and I was fucking out. And he got those 2 fucking punches in and it was just like, holy shit, like getting hit with an anvil.
Right.
I mean, just fucking connected
Right.
like really bad. And so anyway, they fucking, got in their car and took off. Of course, none of my friends did anything.
Yeah, you can't even help a brother out.
I came down here because you fucking were in trouble, and then I go to bed.
I'm the one that,
and
the
I
one that
get
gets
beat
fucked
up. What the fuck? So anyway, I'm fucking just pissed off, about it. So I fucking left and went back to my apartment, and my whole fucking face was like completely like bruised.
Yeah.
Like I was just like one bruise.
Right.
And it knocked. It broke one of my 2 front teeth in half. Busted the tooth in the front. And I didn't have any kind of insurance or anything at the time. I was living completely on my own.
Yeah.
I didn't have a car. That's what it was. Because remember, I had to walk to the dentist. It was like 7 miles.
Jesus.
I hitchhiked for some of it, but I didn't get rides the whole way. So I had to fucking get there. And I had $70 in my pocket. And that's all I had, And I went to this dentist. I sat there all day because I didn't have an appointment.
Yeah.
So I had to sit there all day. And then
Waiting
finally,
for an opening.
Yeah, he called me back and he looks at it. And I'm like, look, man, all I got is $70. Like, is there anything you could do? And he's like, well, we could bond it. He goes, there's no guarantee it's going to last. But if it lasts more than 6 months or a year, you're never getting it off.
Yeah.
Like it's one or the other,
Right. Is that what you have now?
Yeah.
Nice.
So he bonded the tooth, and then I was like, "Are you sure you could do this for 70? Because that's all I got,
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, how long ago was this?
This would have been like
80-something?
80, 87, 88,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Which still wasn't a whole lot of money. But
No,
like
that's
you
all
want
I
to try
had.
and get that done nowadays, you're talking about fucking $2,000.
Exactly. So anyway, I went up to the front desk to pay, and the lady he said no charge. Just
Oh, nice.
That's fucking
have a good
dope.
day.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was really cool. And then when I went out front, there was a fucking cab out front. And the guy's like, hey, are you Pete? And I said, yeah. And he says, come on. And he said, he took care of where do you want to go? And I'm like, man, fuck yeah. So
Liquor store.
I took
He
the
paid for
cab back
booze,
to my
too?
apartment. I didn't have to walk all the way
Yeah.
because I was telling him, I'm like, I walked all the way here. Like I was trying everything I could to get somebody to help
Right.
me out. And the dude
All
was,
because you got beat
Dude
up.
was
I was gonna say, you
awesome.
obviously
People.
look like you got fucked up, so they
oh,
probably
I
felt
was
bad.
fucked up, and I
Yeah.
had a picture of me hanging up in my apartment, and I wrote at the bottom, "Thanks, guys."
Yeah.
And a couple of them, like months later, came over to like a party at my
Right,
apartment
right.
because we were constantly partying there, and they saw that, and I was just like, "Yeah, like there you go. That's what."
You called me
Yeah.
over here to
Yeah,
help you.
so
you
that
didn't help
that was
me.
pretty
Fuck
brutal,
you.
but whatever. I was pretty jacked. So then when I got in the Army years later, I told them, I'm like, finally, for the first time, I've got dental, So I went and had my teeth checked, and I said, "Hey, I've got this bonded tooth. Like, is there any way you could like put a cap? Like, if that thing is still on there, it's never coming off." I'm like, "That's what the guy said that." But he's like, he was right. Like, once those things are there, like it's not coming off unless you lose a tooth, you know?
Right.
So yeah. So I still got here 40 years or so later. The bonded tooth still was holding strong. But yeah, that dude rang my bell. I wound up having to go to court because I got arrested for breach of peace. The cops showed up down there, arrested all of us, and I got arrested for breach of peace. So my mom worked for an attorney, and the attorney went to court with me, and I got off because I was obviously
goddamn
the victim.
white privilege.
I was the victim. I was the victim, you know, obviously from the pictures.
Right.
And the dental and all that stuff. And so, and the guy was a Gold Glove fighter. That's how I found out about that.
Yeah.
And so they fucking, I don't know if he did time, but he definitely got like fines and a bunch of shit.
Right.
And the other guys with him got some minor shit because they all got out like when it all was going down. Like everybody was all standing around. The cops showed up.
Yeah,
just
it's
arrested
fucking
everybody.
old school fucking street fight.
Right. So yeah, so that's my story. So very good. Love doing some mayhem stories, especially when all three of us have one with a theme of us getting our asses kicked. All right, killer cage match, guys. That's when we got a list of 75 killers, 75 objects for them to fight with. And Chris, our random numbers are generated from our listeners. Who do we want to say thank you to?
Once again, we have fucking Dan Lance, Justin Morris, 419 representing Punky.
Hell yeah.
And fucking Ray Long Donger McFalls.
Hell yeah.
Coming in hot.
Ray McFalls with the man of 1,000 fucking nicknames, but now he's in Long Donger. That was great. So, and of course, now Joey confesses he was the one that posted the Long Donger. I just thought it was funny, so I went with it. So,
like I said, I was like, man, that might have been crossing the line. You put it in the notes. I was like, yes.
All dudes in the thanks tonight
It
for
was.
the fans listening and the listeners posting, and we appreciate it. Ladies taking a little break. We usually have, you know, Rebecca and the other girls in there, but that's all right.
I feel
the guys got
I
it
feel
tonight.
like we'll see them again.
And the guys delivered two killer fucking matchup.
Two killers.
Yeah.
Wicked killer matchup, Joey. Who's fighting?
I mean, these dudes are going to beat each other's asses. We got fucking Richard Ramirez, Screen Door Intruder, and then he's going up against one half of the Toy Box Killers, the meaner half.
Toolbox.
Toy Box, Toolbox. Roy Pliers Bittaker.
Fuck yeah. The nastier of the two, for sure. So, all right. So we got a couple of objects, though. They're going to fight with Chris. What do we got here tonight?
I mean, one of them is a toolbox killer, so it makes sense. We got a screwdriver.
Okay.
And an anal fleshlight.
Okay. So not just the fleshlight,
no,
the
it's
anal
a butthole.
one. Okay. All right.
It's a butthole.
Very cool. And then, Joey, we got a variable here tonight, kind of interesting.
The variable is the one and only Bridget the Midget.
God damn it.
So we got Richard Ramirez fighting Roy Bittaker. Brutal fucking matchup. Very physical. Sick, sadistic fucking duo there. With a screwdriver and an anal fleshlight. And Bridget the Midget is in the cage with him. Chris, what the fuck? What do you think here?
Man, okay, so I'm going to go with Ramirez for somehow he gets that screwdriver. Fuck fucking Bittaker getting the fucking screwdriver. Fuck you and your tools. I think Bridget's basically going to take that goddamn anal fucking fleshlight, stick it up her own ass.
Oh, wow.
Have Bittaker start fucking it, and then Toy Box is just or Ramirez is going to come up and start stabbing fucking Bittaker's eyes out
with the screwdriver,
and then fuck him in the ass because he's like, I might as well do this too. I don't give a fuck, and he just kills both. I'm giving it to Ramirez.
Okay,
I'm kind of
Joey. What do you think, man? I mean, physically, Ramirez and Toolbox. I mean, that's definitely a good fucking.
I was gonna say, I think that's pretty close. Like,
yeah,
that's
they're very close.
That's a pretty good tail of the tape right there.
Yeah.
I think whenever the bell rings, I think fucking both of them are going to get in a fucking fist lock right there. Fucking right in the middle of the fucking ring, just fucking wrestling each other. And Ramirez is going to be fucking praying for Satan to come down and give him the power to fucking take out this fucking fool. And Toolbox Killer, he's just fucking reliving all the fucking other killings that he's done, and he just fucking...
You think he's wishing for a pair of fucking pliers instead of a screwdriver?
Pliers, but
I mean, he's got a screwdriver.
Eventually, the problem with Richard Ramirez is that motherfucker's been staying up so many goddamn nights, killing people and doing so much drugs and shit, and listening to AC/DC that he fucking he's just not fucking, his stamina isn't there for fucking Pliers. So Pliers ends up fucking wrestling him down, fucking wearing him out. And he's like, you know what? I'm fucking Lawrence Bittaker. I'm the fucking toolbox guy.
They match.
You know what? I need to make me something special. So what he does is he grabs him a piece of Bridget the Midget, brings her over to him, fucking sticks
like a piece.
Well, he grabs Bridget the Midget. She's so small. She's like a piece.
Right.
She's a piece of what he's about to assemble. So he grabs himself the Bridget the Midget, and then he inserts the anal fleshlight into her pussy, which he then takes the screwdriver and inserts that into the anal fleshlight, and then he makes Bridget the Midget fuck Richard Ramirez in his ass with that fucking screwdriver cock that he's made, because that's his new toolbox toy that he's got.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it up to Bittaker.
All right. God damn.
Wow.
What the fuck, dude? Hell yeah.
That's like MacGyver.
Yeah, and you guys both came up with totally different outcome. I don't know, man. I mean, these guys, like you said, are so physically, similar that I think it's going to come down to who gets a hold of something that's going to change the game, like either the screwdriver. That anal fleshlight's got some girth to it. So, I mean, you could use that to fucking bludgeon somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if Ramirez might want to try to get Bittaker's eyes so that he could watch him rape Bridget the Midget.
All right.
So, I mean, I'm thinking like Chris is leaning towards Ramirez. I'm kind of leaning that way, that Ramirez is going to get Bittaker's eyes so that he could watch him rape Bridget the Midget.
If I was to do a fucking second take on mine, I would probably do something where while the two are fucking locked up in the middle of the cage fucking fighting each other, it would still go that route. But then Bridget the Midget would be fucking getting annoyed by that stupid ass shit, and she'd fucking spider crawl up the wall, do a backflip, and land with her pussy over both of them,
over their
suffocate both
heads.
of them, and then Bridget the Midget would win in that.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be nice. That'd be sweet.
I mean, their heads might come out of her shoulders, but
So we got 3 totally different outcomes with this one. This is great. Hell yeah. Love doing some killer cage match. Always fun. And thanks to the listeners again for contributing. All right, I've been talking about my new book, guys, Deeper Than Dead. It's out now. Everybody's digging on it. Thank you, those of you that have commented and sent in emails and stuff, and got some great reader reviews I've posted. So you can get your own copy, deeperthandead.com. Got it in color, 8.5 by 11 size, and then the 6 by 9 black and white version, but the book is the same. So that's out there. Also, I finished my short story, Death of a Resurrection Man, which I really liked the way that turned out. It's hard to write a story or anything set in a time period that you know nothing about.
Right?
So
I can only imagine.
You cannot take anything for granted. Walking across the street, what does the street look like? Working and getting from two places when you have no car, so
like
your horse and carriage shit.
You might not have enough money for a fucking goddamn horse and carriage,
right?
You might be
and
fucking walking everywhere.
Right. So it's really challenging. So when I feel I can pull it off, it makes me very proud. And I spent a lot of time researching the Burke and Hare story, read books about it. The diary I got, though, the printed diary of the Resurrection Man, was fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So many cool little things. Like I learned, for example, the cemeteries would put gravel in with the dirt so that if the grave robbers were trying to steal them, they would hear the shovels hitting the gravel and it would alert them. So it was like a warning. But that kind of detail I tried to put in there, and really happy with that. But that's the last short story I'm doing before I get started with this new novel, Etched in Flesh. So I'll be filling people in on that because I know a lot of listeners have said they like my writing. So appreciate you guys for doing that. The YouTube channel, we've talked about this over and over, but, we're constantly adding stuff. I'm going to be uploading that laceration interview I did, so that'll be up there.
And again, once Joey's moved out and we're fucking
we're
finally get to move out of the fucking studio, bro. You've been living here fucking since how long?
I know, since the pandemic started.
Growing up.
Once we start doing them on Zoom, then we're going to have those videos
as we can.
So that'll be cool. It'll be Chris and I here in the studio, but we'll be looking at Joey on our laptops on his setup in Toledo. So it's going to be really cool. A new chapter for the podcast, but I think we'll do fine. It'll definitely help being able to see each other than doing it just the audio. But I think we've done plenty of mayhem tonight, guys. So let's hit that fucking outro. Hell yeah, man. The band Joey, you turned me on to this one.
Released Anger.
Released Anger. Very, very cool. Song Problems Remain.
Fucking heavy as
Greece, a band from Greece.
Dude,
fucking
Greece
killing
has
it.
some amazing musicians.
They really do. They really do. So
Tell me more.
So Released Anger. I'm sure you'll hear more of them on here. And try to get a hold of those guys, maybe do an interview. That'd be really cool. Some great thrash.
Fucking right. Yeah.
Huge thanks to our buddy Tex for coming on and chatting with us. Always a pleasure. He gave us some really, really good insight on that one tonight. Because, he's familiar with that prison even. That was even better. Also, Joey, your buddy, Gummo Wall Bacon.
Yeah, man. Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder. Thank you for doing the interview. And I hope you dig the fucking metal segment we did.
Definitely. And thanks for supporting the show, man. Appreciate it, Phil.
Thank you so much, dude.
Chris, bumper music tonight. Who do we jamming?
The one and only Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder. Fucking Released Anger and fucking Gruesome. Fucking all killing it.
Hell yeah. Very, very sure. Joey, what about that metal segment intro
That's
music?
done by the band Chrysix.
Hell yeah. And Murder Metal Mayhem's intro, of course, by Low fucking 12, jamming that crawl space.
Hell yeah.
Thanks to all of you out there listening. We keep seeing the numbers coming in. We're over 3,000 this week, so thank you very, very much. Tell your friends about it. Tell your grandma, fucking Aunt Myrtle, whatever.
If they don't like it, just tell them to leave a review anyway. It doesn't matter if it's a bad review.
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
Review.
It doesn't matter. All right, but we do have some great listeners. We want to read some comments, Chris. First one.
We got Carmine Raza over here says, I love you guys. Great podcast. It keeps getting better. Well, we try the best we can.
Awesome, man. Thanks, Carmine. We appreciate that very much. Joey, what about that second one?
Daniel Crawford, 5655, said, I heard about you from my boss and we jam your shit every week. I love the metal features you guys do. I've been jamming the Flayed Disciple since I heard Pete do that band. I am a listener in Las Vegas.
Hell yeah. That's cool. Flayed Disciple.
Yeah.
Definitely love those guys.
Fuck yeah.
I was listening to that today too, as a matter of fact. All right, the third one. I love this this screen name here. Killing Posers Every Day commented.
Jesus Christ.
That David Burney episode was great. I'm from Perth, and I thought you guys did a great job talking about him. So thank you,
Right,
Killing
coming from the
Posers
spot.
Every Day.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
All right.
awesome. Chris, what about the last one?
With Kenneth McDaniels right here. It says, I'm a new listener from Denver, and you guys have me laughing every week. Thanks for keeping me company on the road. I'm a truck driver.
Honk, honk.
Hell yeah, Kenneth. Hey, I bet we have a lot of truck drivers that listen to this
fuck
shit.
yeah.
So thank you guys for keeping America
Thank you,
fucking
Kenneth,
moving
for fucking listening.
and keep the
Enjoy-
goods
Hey,
getting
man,
to the
put
stores.
Put that shit out on, when you hop on that CB radio, like break 19. Let
Yeah.
me get a listener made of Mayhem coming on.
And if you're a
right.
serial killer that we may talk about one day,
You never
that's
know.
Let us
that's a
know.
listener.
It's
Yeah,
a
you know
connection.
we'll do it right. You know
Yeah,
we'll
you
do
know
it
we're
right.
going to do you all right.
We're not just going to Wikipedia that shit.
We're going to be like,
We're going to talk to your third grade fucking teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, you could pick up my book, Deeper Than Dead, by going to deeperthandead.com, get a copy of it. The Infernal Deluxe Edition is in full color, 8.5 by 11, and a standard paperback in black and white. So 2 options, a full color poster, 18 by 24 inch poster, really killer artwork by Brian Usual on that. So deeperthandead.com. Also check us out, murdermetalmayhem.com. Listen to those past episodes. You could like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Any platform, we're out there. Leave comments, rate the show, whatever you can do. Even if you think we're a bunch of fucking douchebags, put that shit down. Because I'm going to read one of those.
I'll read the bad ones. I'll be like, fuck yeah, I'll read the shit out.
Used to love
Thank you for
that shit in low 12. Lived off that shit in low 12. Would put it on flyers in low 12. Like, it was a badge
Talk shit,
of
please.
fucking honor. It was a badge of honor. Yeah, the guy that called my house back when we had a low 12 answering machine.
Yeah.
Somebody called the number and said his daughter got kicked out of kindergarten for singing Crawl Space in the classroom.
That's awesome.
And the teacher asked her what she was saying, because she was saying, "Hello, my name is Gacy," and the mother. And the parents got called down to the schools in fucking Pekin.
That's fucking
And I was
awesome.
like, what? Like, I had to call the guy, met the kid. They brought her to a show. It was fucking awesome. There's a picture of her and me fucking throwing the horn.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love that kind of shit. That was just great. The negative stuff was, almost better than the good shit,
I don't even think that was negative. I think that
No,
was
it turned out positive with her. But
Yeah.
the fact that she got kicked out of the class and they had to go get her, and they wanted to let me know that, she was singing Crawl Space.
They're like, fuck yeah, dude.
when they released the special edition of Silent Night, Deadly Night, that's like it goes back to one of the most banned horror movies of all time, like when it came out. But anyway, whenever they fucking put out the special edition DVD, it's got like rave reviews, and it's like 4 fucking people saying that the movie was awesome and shit. And then it's got fucking hate reviews.
Oh, nice.
And it's just like fucking 50 of them of people just talking how it's a trash ass piece of shit and how, how terrible it is and this and that.
That's
but
funny.
it's awesome that they included that on there.
Yeah, I used to love doing that shit. All right, so you can support the show by going to our Patreon, patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem. I'll link to that in the episode description. Just $3 a month. Can't let them go without hearing a karaoke song, a little blast from the past. So crank it up. And until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
Put the other one in the gutter this time.
Till I was completely wasting, out of work and down. All inside, it's so frustrating as I drift from town to town. Feel as though nobody cares if I live or die. So I might as well begin to put some action in my life. Fuck yeah! Breaking the law, breaking the law. 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 So much for the golden future, I can't even start. I've had every promise broken, there's anger in my heart. You don't know what it's like, you don't have a fucking clue. If you did, you'd find yourself doing the same things too, yeah. breaking the law, 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 breaking the law. You don't know what it's like. Breaking the law, 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 breaking the law.
Mother, man.